Well, let me just start off by saying, hey, welcome. If you're catching this on the replay, we thank you very much for that. Just sit back and hang in there for a few minutes, and we'll kind of let people get in here before we get too excited. This is what we always do. Seems to work well. We are awfully glad that everyone will be in and out tonight. We appreciate that. Weird. Very weird, but that's all right. Maybe we'll chit-chat about that in a little bit, but I do find it kind of weird. We hope everybody's doing great tonight, Pat. How are you? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I'm trying to get organized here a tiny bit. Doing good? Yeah. I'm doing all right. You know, really tired for some reason still. But you know how that is, right? We're always tired. Well, where did I go? Huh. Always tired, Pat. Trying to get squared away here. I know you and I were talking about live streams. And I think I figured out something that, well, I don't have something figured out. I'm working on something that, from a live stream standpoint, that I don't know. I'm gonna have to study on it a little bit, try to figure out what the problem is. But I'm uploading like a thumbnail to the live stream on the phone, right? But what's weird is when I go to the internet, because when you saw it come up, Pat, let me ask you this. When you saw my thumbnail, what was my thumbnail today? Because it wasn't the thumbnail I don't think that I put on there. What thumbnail did you see? Because I'm not seeing the thumbnail that I uploaded on my phone on my desktop. Got a bunch of people in the background. Hello, everybody. You guys come in, say hi. So did you see a picture of Lorelei as a thumbnail, or did you see a picture of me? Yeah. That's what I don't understand. And it's been happening for quite a while. the picture that I'm uploading as a thumbnail on my phone isn't sticking. Alex in the house, how are you? Good to see you, Alex. What's going on in your part of the world? Hello, Alex. How are you today? I think Pat and I are both a little tired today, but we're here. Good to see you. So yeah, I find that interesting that it's not sticking for whatever reason. And I've known this for a while, I just don't know how to fix it. Scotty's in the house. Yes, I am scrolling. Woohoo! Well, you scrolled and stopped to the right place. Thank you for being here. Scotty, how are you? We thank you for subscribing to the channel, liking us, giving us a thumbs up while you're here. Jimmy's in the house saying hello to me and Pat and everybody else. Jimmy, how are you, man? A little bit of a rough week for me. Noah, thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Man, we've been getting a lot of subscribers lately, and I've been losing a lot. So I don't know what's going on in YouTube land, but I am truly, for every 10 I gain, I lose 11 this last week. Scotty subscribed to us. Thank you for that. Noah is in the house. So, interesting. I know it's part of the normal cycle, but it's just frustrating. Yeah, one of the deep, 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 deep. Kenisha's in the house. How are you doing? I'm doing all right. All right. Rough week. A little tired. Got to admit, a lot going on. But yeah, I've been doing the heart doctor stuff this week, and the week of November the 4th. Sorry, I'm really thirsty. I get a new pacemaker, so working on that. Just woke up, not feeling good, Kenesha says. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Kenesha. Scotty, it's a great question. I will tell you what I'm going to be for Halloween. I am going to be a tropical shirt wearing host with a hat. I'm going to be a social media influencer that wears a hat and a tropical shirt. That's what I'm going to be for Halloween. So I'm dressing up as your most favorite internet social media influencer person wearing a tropical shirt and a hat. That's what I'm going to be for Halloween. What are you going to be for Halloween? Pat says, hello, hello, hello. So, yeah, $350. I got the bill. I got the email today from the doctor. That's my portion of it. It's probably going to cost the insurance like $35,000. Oh yeah, no. Jimmy, the pacemaker comes the week after Halloween, so I get it right after Halloween. We could have done it tomorrow or Monday or, any time of the day. But since Lorelai's having her big Halloween party on Saturday, this Saturday, we just put it off for a couple of weeks until the 1st of November. But I'll have a new pacemaker for Thanksgiving and my birthday. There you go. Kenisha's asking how Pat is doing. So, yeah, went to, Pat, how are you today? So, yeah, we had to go and do the, that's right, I'll just be a regular influencer with a tropical shirt and a hat. Don't forget that. So, No new, no new 10-year battery in me at all. But that's all right. So she is, by the way, everybody, if you don't know, we're having the big Halloween party this coming Saturday. So like in 3 days, I guess. What is today? Does anybody know what today is? Wednesday, right? So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so yeah. 5 p.m., my house, everybody's welcome. If you can't make it, we're going to live stream it so you guys can all enjoy it and hopefully vote on who has the best costume. And I might be the one that has the best costume. You never know. I just might be. But what's weird was, man, I've been trying to, man, I'm tired. My ankles are blistering and I'm wore out. I've been trying to get some things done this week and try to get my life to be less stressful this week, which is, Jesus. You know, sometimes, you know, I know people talk about how much they like being married and having kids and having a lot of family around and having a lot of this, a lot of that, and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, one thing I've learned over the years, when you got a lot of people in your life, all it does is put a lot of chaos in your world. Ah, you're going to be on the boat on the 31st. That's sweet, man. I've always wanted to do a Christmas cruise. Really have. I've always wanted to do a Christmas cruise. It's one of my dreams would be to go on a ship during Christmas time when they decorate it. You know, I really think that would be cool. So this week, yeah, the big party's Saturday, but to try to make my life easier, I've been doing a whole bunch of things, and now I've just wore myself out completely, and it's not even time for the party yet. And I got another day's worth of work, and then I got a bunch of 2 days of cooking. So by the time the party comes along, if you don't see me, I'm probably dead out in the yard somewhere. You know, I'm the fat, tropical shirt, social media influence guy who's laying dead in the yard. You know, probably laying dead in the yard in the dog shit, you know. They do. I know it's horrible, but I've looked at those, and one, we could never find one that went right over Christmas for some reason. But the ones we saw real close to it, man, whew. October the 31st, you're going to be on. Which ship are you going on? Maybe I'll run away from the family and come hide with you on the boat, man. So, I was going to clean my glasses, but oh, here they are. Vista. We've been on the Vista. Vista. Where did we go on the Vista? I don't know where I went on the Vista. We've been on the Vista. I don't think that's the one out of Miami. I don't know. We've been on 4 or so. I know we went on the free something. I don't know. I can't remember. My brain is squishy from the coma, and it's tired from trying to make my life easier. So, less stressful. One thing I was telling my brother, I don't know how it seems the fact that my effort to make my life less stressful, it just doesn't seem to work. You know what I mean? Get to Orlando, that's right. I can get to Orlando on the 26th. I'm telling you, my wife may get mad, but I got to bring her, and I leave her behind. Man. I miss cruising. That's for, man, I'm having problems with my glasses today. Well, we are Well, Pat, let me see. Sometimes, we, woohoo! Man, I'd just be happy to have peace and quiet. It's pretty bad when you just like to have peace and quiet in life, right? Yeah, I know, but she's busy at work, hopefully. Huh. Oh, well, that is. Tim says hello. Hello, Tim. How are you? Everybody says hello to Tim. Now, I'm more interested in relaxation. Why is my caps lock not unlocking? Oh, there we go. My girl is on this ship. She's a pit boss. Nice. When's the wedding? When's the wedding? Tim, what's going on in the Philippines? I don't like this. Why is Bing? Who the fuck is Bing? I'm trying to search something and Bing keeps coming up. I don't like Bing. Who the hell is Bing? Where's Google at? Yes, I remember you, young lady. How are you? How are things in your world? Everybody said hello to Ilaya. I want to search Google, not Bing. Doing great. Nice, nice. We remember you. Everybody said hello to each other. Make sure you all... You're doing great. Nice. We're doing pretty good. Hanging in there. Hello from Tim and Pat. Jimmy, hello from Moblacat. Ah, shit. Sorry. I'm using bad language today. Crap. I don't know why, my search engine doesn't seem to be searching very well. Maybe my search engine is tired. Weird. Got to go. Bye. All right. Well, take care. We appreciate you coming in. We appreciate you staying high and giving us a thumbs up. You're always welcome to be here. We appreciate you for doing that and taking time out of your day to do just that. So, Halloween's right around the corner. My wife's having her big party this weekend. So we are going to live stream it. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I need to restart my computer. Jimmy's asking Tim how close he is to Angeles City. If I remember right, Tim's fairly close. Well, fairly close is a relative question, right? Because relatively close to Angeles City could be 1,000 miles versus 7,000 miles, which is what we are. Gus is in the house saying hello to everybody. Everybody say hello to Gus. What's going on in Georgia, Gus? Been having a rough week. What is this on here? There's something weird going on. I'm having weirdness going on. Is it Halloween weirdness already? Internet weirdness? Tim's about 45 minutes north of Angeles City. 15 minutes from the Hookers of Walking Street, which they renamed it, did they not? Aren't they calling it Red Street now, Tim? YouTube's always trying new shit. And I don't know how to... Nothing going on but the Bulldogs, yeah. I watched the Bulldogs. I mean, that was good games. Alabama's a shocker to me. I thought they were going to be a flop, but not so much. Coming up above the screen, what's that? Well, it's like a question. YouTube is always adding stuff. It's like a pop-up question that YouTube asked. So I don't really know how, I deleted it. I finally figured out how to do that, but I don't know what that was. That's a new one to me, Pat. Yeah, well, man, I'm telling you, if I was single, I'd be on the plane to Orlando hanging out now. So let me tell you. I know, man. Gus says, yes, they renamed it. Well, that's good. Because, I gotta admit, I thought naming your Hooker Street, Red Street, was kind of a dumb move, right? Surely they could have thought of something else if they didn't want to keep promoting that lifestyle, right? I mean, like the red light district, or maybe they don't know what that is, in Asia, but I know. And most people, Gus says, don't offer it to me. Well, there's going to be 500 single Filipinos on the cruise, Gus. I mean, if I wasn't married, I'm telling you. But I love cruises. But why would you name it Red Street? Why didn't they just give it somebody's name like, Coochie Street or something? Wouldn't that be better? I don't know. They could have named it after me, the guy with the hat and shirt. They could have called it in. I just thought it was weird. I wonder what they're going to name it, though. They could have named it the Carnival Street, or Bourbon Street, or... I know, red light equals red light district. That's what I didn't understand why they did that. I mean, it's not like they could have, I guess, named it Church Street if they really wanted to get rid of the hookers, right? They could have called it Religious Street or Church Street, and then that would have took care of that, right? So I don't know what their thinking was. Coaching Avenue? Well, we got a coaching search going on in Arkansas. All I know is I just pray like hell we don't hire that Bobby idiot to coach for us again. But I guess he wants the job really bad. But that doesn't mean I want him. It's like, this must be the year of the football coaches to be fired, right? I think it's gonna, whoop, crap. I think it's a really bad signal that everybody's getting fired. Yeah, that, I mean, or just presidential lane. They could have made it generic, right? I mean, well, I think that was his strategy. To be honest, Jimmy, I think Bobby had a plan, and other people had a plan that likes Bobby, but Bobby's a scuzzball. And I'm just going to be honest, I don't think he can coach in today's world. I don't think he's as good as coach as he thinks he is, because when he was in his heyday doing really well, college football was much different than it is today. I've seen some of the girls and they have to pray for a date. See, Religious Street. There you go, right? You know, you could have called it a expat street, old fogey street. So, I mean, but today's coaching is much different. Today's players are different than they were 15 years ago, 10 years ago. With the money, I mean, it's totally a different world. And I don't like him. I think he's a scuzzball, cheating on his wife, with some 25-year-old tennis coach here at Arkansas. Broke up that marriage, paid her off, wrecked the motorcycle, which is a shame to wreck a motorcycle in the first place. Yeah, I just think it's sit and stare street. There you go. There you go. I like that, Gus. Sit and stare, because that's probably or what do we call it? Open wallet street, maybe. How's that? Because, a lot of the guys just open their wallets, right? That's kind of what, maybe they ought to rename the Philippines Open Your Wallet Country, Philippines, the land of the open wallets. Welcome to the Philippines, where all wallets are accepted. Yeah, I don't blame you. We don't get out much either, Tim. And that was, I'll tell you, one of the frustrating things for me living in the Philippines was how little my wife would let me do. I sat at home in that stupid concrete bunker and literally did nothing but look at the same shit over and over. You go to the mall or you go to the beach. But you couldn't do anything else. Whatever reason, Koreans have a tendency to spend a fortune to buy a money trees and then change it into their, we'll just see it. Yeah, I know, man. I know. We have 2 money trees ourselves, and we're not even Korean. I don't know. 2-week millionaire street, yeah, that'd be good. Walking Millionaires Avenue. Oh, yeah. See, we'll fix Philippines. That is a good one. Marinero, yeah. Millionaire Street, yeah. Wow. Weekend Warrior. But, yeah. But every city has that. Every bar, every whatever. You got enough cash, you can buy anything you want. So, but where we live, man, is becoming like a big town now. We're having shootings and road raging going on in our little community. That's not a little community anymore. So, man, it's definitely time to move away from where we live. It's getting to be a drunken rough spot here. Mike and Venus in the house. How are you? What's going on? Good morning to you. Everybody say hello to each other. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. And yes, I get a new pacemaker on the 4th, Mike. I went yesterday, had an echocardiogram that made me sick as a dog. So got that done and out of the way. Now we're scheduled for, you're here, you're where here? Here where? I'm here, So, new pacemaker. The doctor sent me a note today and saying, you can have this bright and shiny. It's not even used. I thought he was going to tell me I could have a used one for $350. So, oh, Pat. Echocardiogram, the dye they put in the heart. So the echocardiogram I had yesterday was an intensive one, not just, so they actually injected some dyes into my heart. And by the time I got home, I just wasn't feeling very well. I got sick. Why I don't know. But it was an echocardiogram. And yeah, I have a low ejection fraction rate. That's why I have a pacemaker defibrillator and a left bundle branch block and something else. VFib. We do, yeah. And well, maybe it'll qualify for you to get disability from America. Heart conditions are one of the easiest things to get disability on in America. Did you know that? You can't hear. Why not? You got kitty cats meowing at you. So, yeah, I don't know what it was, but I've had echocardiograms 4 or 5 times, maybe more. But this one I don't know, first time they did dyes, and I didn't do good. I came home and had the dry heaves really bad, and I was really lucky that the last time I was in the emergency room, the doctor gave me some medicine just in case I ever needed it. It's one good thing I'll say lately about doctors. They seem to give me a lot of prescription for drugs just in case I need it in the future. And I'm starting to really appreciate that because there's been more and more times that I've had to use those drugs just in case. Thank God I don't have a heart problem anymore. I need Bluetooth big JBL thingy. My wife has one. I bought that for her birthday a couple years ago. I get nothing for my birthday or Christmas, but I guess we live to support or to make the wives happy. I don't know. I just left another channel where the person only talked about themselves. Wow, was that my channel or your channel? Jimmy, Mike likes his tequila sunrise with no grenadine. I like tequila sunrises. I haven't had one in years. I used to have a shirt that had tequila sunrise. Isn't there a famous song? I like tequila sunrise, but I like mojitos better. Mike likes that though. Jimmy knows me. That's right. So yeah. Mike does his San Miguel. Yeah. I like manly beer. Sorry guys. I gotta admit, you met Jimmy before. Nice. And he put up with you, Mike, huh? Wow. And he still talks about you and talks to you. Jimmy must be a hell of a guy. Wow. We're having the big Halloween party this weekend. Lorelai and all of her girly friends are coming over to eat food, drink, make a mess out of my clean house. So it's all decorated. They came over this weekend and decorated. So you guys got to tune in and vote on whose costume you like the best. So anytime, Jimmy, anytime, because we all know Mike. So Mike's like that lovable guy that we'd all have to stand up for in the bar, So I'd have to make sure nobody, he's that lovable guy that some idiot in a bar is going to want to try to cause trouble with because he's small framed, I remember those days when I would hang out in bars and have a little drinky poo. But I don't know if I'm going to drink anything this weekend. I got to quit taking medicine the week before, no, the Friday before my heart surgery. It's on a Tuesday, so I got to take, I don't know, some bullshit. I'm not big, but I will protect my friends. No, we're going to protect you. We don't want you to get hurt. Jimmy and I will take care of you. We'll make sure nobody picks on you and hurts you. They're right, Pat. Even Pat will jump in there and defend you, Mike. So, man, I haven't been to a real bar in years. I couldn't tell. Well, I guess I've been to a casino bar. Is that a real bar? A casino bar? I've been to the cruise ship bars. Is that a real bar? You're the boss here? Yeah. You want me to go wake Venus up and tell her what you said? And we'll find out who's the boss in your house? My surgery is November the 4th. November the 4th. So, yeah. We were going to do it, but the Halloween party's right around the corner, and I know how exhausted I'm going to be the week after the party because I'm already exhausted. And today's Wednesday, the party's Saturday, and I'm already wore out, exhausted. I'll be exhausted until probably Wednesday or Thursday of the week after the party this weekend. So we decided to do it on the 4th of November. I love Darren is back in the house. Tim, appreciate that. You know, I'm one of these people that I don't stress over medical stuff, to be honest. I talk about it because I find it interesting. And I like to hear what other people go through. But as Lorelai's going to take the day or 2 days off. I told her, said, look, all they're going to do is cut me open. Boom, right here is what they do. They just cut you open. That's all they do. Boop. They plop it out, they plug it in the new one, they stick the damn thing back in, and they sew you up. And you go home. So really not a big deal. I've had so many, I just don't stress over it because after being in a coma and being dead 4 times, getting a new pacemaker, this is my 3rd one. But I appreciate the good wishes. Mike says, I actually been here long enough to the point that everyone loves me. So, yeah. Are you drunk today, Mike? Or you got a little hooch in you, thinking, yeah, but everybody loves me. Everybody loves me. No. You give it your best shot trying to hurt me? I think, the little Filipinos don't bother me, Mike. But my head hurts. I was telling, well, nobody here is trying to hurt you. If they wanted to hurt you, what we're talking about, we would have to defend you. Yeah, it's an outpatient surgery. So I got to be there at 11. The surgery's at 1. And they said I should be out of there by 4. So pretty good. Jimmy's going to be right back. Jimmy has to go find a tree out back. So not a big deal. Not a big deal on the surgery, to be honest. I mean, when you know how it is, everybody. When you've had so many things wrong with you, it's not like they're cutting my leg off, So my wife's making a bigger deal out of it than it is. I'm only here to have fun and joke. Well, I thought you went to the Philippines to fall in love with Venus. Does she know that you're only there to have fun and joke in the Philippines? Wow, how do you think Venus is going to feel? Man, you just hurt her feelings, Mike. No. So that's what we're doing on the 4th. So, but they did turn off the alarm the other day when I went down. So they've already turned off the alarm so it doesn't make any more noises, which is a good thing. Because it was alerting every morning at 10:30, but now that's turned off. So, but not a big deal, Tim, I don't think. But yeah, I got the estimate email today for $350, and I thought, It's just kind of funny because for the echocardiogram, I dumped $150. My copay was $150 for the echocardiogram. So, you know what I mean? I know better, and Venus is more intelligent than that. Are you sure? You got to remember, women are very intelligent, but they have that female gene in them. My tremors are not good today. Medicine is not kicking in yet. Wow. Are you, Tim, are you having something that triggers them? Is there something that triggers a bad day for you? I'm having a wore out day. One, I had the dry heaves yesterday so bad it wore me out, and I finally found that medicine. It's a good thing she's sleeping, right? Medicine worked really well. I don't remember what it's called, but you put it on your tongue, and it's not nitro, but you basically treat it like nitroglycerin. But man, it stopped the dry heaves like that. Man, it worked really good. I'm all right. I'm used to being judged. I don't mind being judged. What do they call? What do they say? I've been judged. I've been found guilty. And I've even been executed. But here I am again. Here I am again. Forgot you met. Oh, all right. Okay. All right, Tim. I get that. They have a propensity to do that. They do, man. They do. Trust me. They have a propensity to drive us crazy is what they have. You know. But don't judge me unless you are a judge. That's right. Don't judge me unless you can put me in the ground, right? I had a police officer friend who always told me, he's like, look, one thing he believed, and he said this, and I don't disagree with him, that it was better. What did it? Let me get. I want to get this straight. Let me hang on. It's better to be carried by 6 than be judged. No, it's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. He said that all the time because he was pro shoot people. Like, no, I'll just shoot them. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And I hate to tell him, I told him, I said, you know, Danny, I hate to tell you this, but nobody's carrying you any damn where. You're going to have to get somebody else to take you to your final resting place. We are similar in many ways. You know, I don't antagonize people. Why would you say that? That's not very nice, Mike. I don't do that. I am one of the most supportive, outreaching, good guys in the whole entire world. I do nothing but build you up, Mike. I build you up. I lift you up to the stars. This is what I do. And that's just what I get. That's okay. That's okay. My feelings are hurt. You know, my pacemaker is going, wah, wah, wah. You're a good guy, Mike. So yeah, but my friend Danny always thought that. He always believed in killing the people that came after you. Oh my. But it's all right, right? And I don't disagree with that logic. I guess I would rather, but I guess I have a different logic. Maybe that's why I get it so confused. Because I guess I would rather be carried by 6 than judged by 12. I mean, you know, life doesn't mean anything to me. So, I mean, life is, I mean, what good does it do to be alive? You know what I mean? Have you ever contemplated the reason for life? Ever wonder that? What is your purpose in life? Do you have a purpose? Are you supposed to have a purpose? So I guess no live streams for a few. Oh no, I'm gonna do one as soon as I get home. No, I'm gonna do one that night. I'm gonna show my shirt and go, looky here, looky here, looky here. You know. Now I'm gonna do a live stream. I'm actually one thing I am doing, Tim, And everybody's, I'm actually collecting some video and I'm putting it together and I'm going to make a video about the whole process of getting a new pacemaker. You know, I'm going to share a video about, I already got some video going to the doctor and some other things, and I'm going to try to sneak a camera into the pre-op room and all of that. Let's talk deep. I know now I have a purpo. Pat likes that. Purpose of life is don't die. Nobody believes me. Well, I believe you. What is your belief? I mean, what is your purpose? I believe you. And on a serious note, I believe whatever you believe, you believe. Because who's it to me, or who am I to say that your belief is wrong or that you're incorrect in your belief system? If you think you have a purpose on this earth, I don't know if anybody has a purpose. I think we're all just kind of like atoms bouncing around. Oh, you were put here to help others, but aren't we always? Isn't that? I don't know, Mike and everybody else. I really want you guys to think about this. I don't believe anybody was put on the planet to help others or to hurt others. I believe helping people is just something that we naturally do, but everybody does it differently naturally. Some people are leaders, some people are followers, some people are support staff, some people give every penny they got, some people just go and help people at their houses. You know, I think it's just something that's ingrained in humans. I think it's a human trait to help others. And I really believe this. I think humans, by design, have it engineered and hardwiring to be helpful. I really do. Pat agrees, no plus or. I was put here to help others. I don't argue. I argue. Man, I argue all the freaking time. Are you kidding me? Hell, I'll argue at the drop of a hat. Boom. You know, I like to argue. So, but can't help. Zoe Clark's in the house of Scotland. Good to see you. How are you? Everybody say hello to Zoe. Love seeing you in from Scotland. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate you so much. Everybody said hello to Zoe. How are you, Zoe? What's going on in Scotland? What's going on in the land of Scots? What's the favorite drink of Scotland? Don't tell me Scotch. Some people help others with emotional. I know. And that's kind of what I mean. If you look at this from a a macro view, everybody, I believe, helps people. Every human being helps people. I try to teach, that's good. Zoe, repeat your message. I'm sorry I accidentally deleted your message. Hang on, maybe I can post it. Zoe, I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button. So go ahead and redo your comment. It was fine. I'm great, thanks. Looking after my granny. She just had surgery. All right. I have surgery in a couple weeks myself. Sorry, I didn't mean to delete your comment, Zoe. I got too big of fingers to operate the phone. Try to teach and just try to help. Now, Tim says they only drink scotch to impress others. Does anybody like scotch? I don't like scotch. Oh my, I'll try a shirt off my back if someone needs it for food. I can view. Pat's Philippine Dreams done that a few times. Yes, yes. Drink scotch or took your shirt off your back. I take my shirt off a lot. I'm happy. Look, I can be out in public and somebody says, "Hey, can you remove your shirt?" I go, "Oh yeah, I can." Woo! Let me do it. You ain't got to tell me why. I'm just happy to do it. Can't unhide it? Yes. I hit the wrong button. When I went to review it, I was going to hit, whatever you call it. But I hit the other side of it and it hit it accidentally. I like it also. It's great. Yo, you like scotch? I like whiskey, but only when I'm already drunk. No. I cannot because I'm not doing StreamYard. I'm actually doing a vertical YouTube is what I'm doing. Vertical live stream. We're going to do a StreamYard on Saturday so everybody has a better view of the Halloween party and all the girls dancing around. So, and all the food and everything, so I'm doing a wider version of that. But these, you can't bring anybody up after you've started. Now, when you do a vertical like this, if you want to co-host it like with you or Pat or Tim, what I have to do before I start is send you the link that they give me, and I can send that to you in like a messenger or email or however. Then you can click on it and you can come up and we can be on this together. But you can't do it after the fact. You are here? Yes, Pat says, Zoe, I'm leaving. It's bedtime here. Good night and God bless everybody. Zoe, we appreciate you. I hope you get some rest. I do. We do appreciate you coming in. It's been a little bit since we saw you, but thank you for the support of visiting us. Thank you all for the thumbs up. So yeah, it's man, I am. Yeah, but I don't like to do StreamYard all the time. I did StreamYard all the time for years. I did it every Thursday night, 7 to 9. And I got burned out on doing StreamYard. You get a lot of people up in the panel and a lot of that. But you also get a lot of drama, a yada yakking. So, no plan, no nothing, just blah, 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 just go live. Yeah, that's what these are. These are, you just, pop it up, you go live. It's easy to do. You can do it anywhere. You don't have to worry about anything. And the other big difference, Mike, if you didn't know, YouTube promotes this live stream. They do not promote StreamYard because StreamYard is not YouTube. It's a, what do we call it, an affiliate or associate or a step cousin, a business partner. This live stream, YouTube will share out to the YouTube community. Tim says, I don't even remember how to use StreamYard. Well, I got it. I use StreamYard. I do use it, but I got kind of bored of it, to be honest, And then somebody, I think it was Claude and Jessica, living in the Philippines, turned me on to doing it this way. And I'm like, I kind of like this. It's easier for me. It's also a way that I can acknowledge everybody who comes into the chat. A lot of times if you're on StreamYard, what happens is you get a bunch of chaos in the panel, right? So you get 2 or 3 people in the panel and you got people trying to make comments in the chat, and you as the director got to try to make sure you acknowledge everybody in the chat, which is extremely important to me, and manage your panel. And I don't like that chaos so much. And then what happens is you get people who get mad because they don't get to say what they want to say in the panel because somebody else is saying something. And so you get people talking over each other, and I don't like that. That's why I come to your channel, Mike, when you do live streaming, and I talk over you. I know nothing. Right on. Yeah, I'm on my iPhone. I'm not using the desktop at all. And one thing I like about it is when I do live streams out in public, I'm on my mobility scooter with the dog or I'm out fishing, I just do it on my phone. Now you can do StreamYard on your phone, and I have it set up this weekend. I'm going to be doing StreamYard on my phone. So I'm going to put the phone where where we can look at the food and the girls and the dancing and the singing. So, but I like it because I can just pop it up, take it with me. I can be driving in the car. Lorelai can be doing a live stream while we drive in the car. Just easier. So Pat, it's definitely one thing about doing live streams that you can do. I mean, just do them like this and boom. And I mean it, when YouTube pushes this out, they push it out. So it's a way to grow your channel because you'll reach a whole bunch of new people that are just being nosy on the internet. So if you do StreamYard, they don't push that out. Is this going to be what I want in the end of my life? Is what going to be what you want? StreamYard? Talking on the internet? I don't know. Well, that's good. I think if you're doing, I will say this, if you're doing this for fun, that's great. I do it for entertainment value myself. Now, I am not shy about the fact that if I could turn into Mr. Beast, I would be happy to be Mr. Beast. You know, if I could have 200,000 subs and make $250,000 a year, I'd be tickled to death. If I could make, 100,000, 50,000, 5,000 a year, absolutely be tickled to death. There is no question about it. But what I will say for me, if I didn't find this entertaining, I wouldn't do it. That's how I look at it. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, we were monetized in 6 months when we started our channel. The whole idea, yeah. I mean, I like making videos. I try to make shorts. I try to make long videos, and I do live streams. I do have TikTok and all those others, but I actually don't enjoy doing those. And so those kind of get my leftover YouTube stuff. Why do I spend time here? That's the question. Because it makes you happy. It makes you happy, right? Yeah, it is something to do. You guys all know my background, and I do it because I learn, I teach, I educate, but I learn a lot from doing this. It's also a good way to vent your frustrations, to talk about everyday stuff, because I'm a little different than a lot of streamers. I will talk about politics. I will talk about religion. I won't let anybody hate on each other, and I won't let anybody bully anybody. But I'm not scared of topics, and I'm not scared of trolls. So I go with it. I roll with it. Mike says, internet is working fine. Yeah, well, good. It's working fine right here, too. Trust me. If I didn't have internet, I wouldn't be talking. But, well, I mean, seriously, who would not want, if you're in the YouTube world, the social media world, even though we do this for entertainment, for fun, something to do, a way to network with others of like minds, if you couldn't make $5 grand, 150 grand, $1 million a year, there's not a living soul on here that would say, well, wait a minute, now that I'm making money, I'm not going to do this anymore. Come on. Well, I understand that. For you, it's not about subs. Well, it shouldn't be about subs anyway. And I'll tell you why. It's about friends. It is. It's about building a network and a community. And I've done that. I have a lot of people that I visit with offline that I give a lot of advice to. I don't want to act like I'm smart or anything like that, or I'm anything special, but I do have a lot of people that, I don't want to, I hate saying nice things about myself, but a lot of people see me as a little bit of a mentor or leader, I guess, off of here. And I do a lot of that without charge or anything. And, but if I could make 100 grand a year, I'd make 100 grand a year. You betcha. So I'm not real worried about it, right, Pat? Yeah, you're doing your thing. And what I was going to say about subs, if you got 200,000 subscribers and you don't get anybody to watch your stuff, then you're not making any headway. It's not about subs, it's about views, right? That's what it is. And we all have kind of our own little niche and our style of doing it. Oh, I understand. I know what you're doing, and that's fine. I think everybody has to do their own thing. You know, there's a lot of us that would love to make a business out of it. But we also understand that that's a long shot of making a very productive business. Because look, when I e-beg for the $5 million. Never gonna happen, but if it ever did happen, okay, great. If I wound up having, 5 million subscribers, making 500,000 a year, hey, that'd be great. That's good. We have the same, we all kind of, that Tim has a community, Mike, we all have our own communities, right? And when I was teaching, for me, the big difference was this, to go from not working and being a big fish in a little pond to not being a fish at all was problematic for me psychologically. So getting on the internet and doing this type of stuff helped with that. So nothing, I need nothing. Mike needs nothing. He needs no money, no donations, no revenue of any kind, no business. If any money goes, it goes, yes, you're going to take it to charity, which is great. We do fundraising ourselves, Mike, as you know. People have no clue what we do behind the scenes either, which I think is great, besides our Rice for Life thing. The only thing that we advertise every year is the Rice for Life. Other than that, you guys have no clue what we do, which is the way it's supposed to be. You should never have to feel like you need to tell people what you do charity-wise. Mike, nobody says you're lying. Tim says for every 70,000 subs, you can make, yes, is that 30,000 per month? If you get the views, right? Because a lot of people buy subs, Tim, but you got to have the views. You got to have people watching. And I tell people all the time, if you can get 10% of your subs to watch you on a regular basis, watch your videos, you're doing really good. We don't advertise. Okay? We just give. All right. We get your point, Mike. 3,000. 100 can buy a lot of rice. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. $100 can buy a lot of rice. And I think last year we, for the Rice for Life program, we did $500. So we were really, really happy about that. This year we're already at $100 in raising and fundraising. So a little $107.86, I think, is where we're at. So we're doing pretty good on that. We got a ways to go to get to the 500, but even if we don't, I'm okay with that. I don't really care how much we raise, as long as I can, ship some rice or buy some rice, whatever. I don't actually do it. Lorelei and the girls in the Philippines do it, right? So, but you do, Mike, you do whatever makes you happy on YouTube, just like Pat. Pat is going to start going live and doing live streams. And whatever Pat's niche is what Pat's niche will be. And the same thing with Tim. Tim's been doing this for a while. He's in the Philippines. He's got a pretty good little niche. But we all got to just figure out our own niche. And that's what I guess my niche is mentoring to you people. I'm your internet life coach. I'm your free internet life coach. Pat is a good person. I agree. I don't know if I'd say great. I'll give Pat a good person category. I don't know about great. So, but Pat's going to try to do live stream soon. We're going to get him up and running because I think he's about ready, right, Pat? You don't need a niche. Everybody has a niche. Your niche is this, Mike. I don't care. I'm only here for friends. I give all my money to charity. That's your niche. Come on. That's your niche. You know, it's one of those, reverse psychology niches. Chef Lawson's in the house. I'll be there to watch you. Yoo-hoo! Everybody say hello to my good friend, Mr. Lawson. How are you? What's going on? You got to come back Saturday, Lawson. The girls are doing the Halloween party at 5 o'clock Saturday. We're doing a live stream. I did food giveaway during the start of the pandemic to people on my street. Yes. I know you're going to be, Lawson will check you out, Pat, when Pat goes live. We're going to help Pat get live. Maybe he'll get live here soon. That sounded so fake, what you said about me. No, but it is your niche. That's your niche. And it's okay. It's like, everybody, whether you think it's a niche or not, it is, and it's your niche. Just own it. It's okay. Jack Hobson had a hitch. Michael McFarlane had a hitch. What's his name? God, the guy with Ned has a niche. Pat has one. Tim has one. We all have one. Whether we think we have one or not, we have one. And that's just the honest truth. So just embrace it. Pat says, okie dokie, he'll be there. Type out my niche. Mike, your niche is, I'm the friendly drunk guy in the Philippines who loves everybody, who doesn't want anything, doesn't want a business, doesn't care if my channel grows. Any money comes, goes to Venus for charity. That's your niche. And that's okay. That's what your channel's about. Maybe that will help. All right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Be proud of it. Embrace it. I saw Ned the other day. I watched a video or two. I got caught up on some of Ned's stuff. He was doing a video about the cost of living. So I got to watch some of that. Lawson says, I got 4 spider baits. Damn, 4 spider baits. A nurse, which is very nice of me. I'm not trying to be mean, but she gave me some of the weird cream. Oh, Chef Lawson. You gotta love nurses. Evening host from Jose. How are you, man? It's been a long time. Great to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for the thumbs up. Have a great day. We're having a good day. We're struggling this week, but it's going to get better. It always does. Mike likes it and says, wow, okay. So, it's okay, Mike. Some people just have different things they do. Cooking videos is their niche. You got to have, your channel has to be about something, or it's like the Seinfeld thing about nothing, right? Because I never watched Seinfeld. Seinfeld drove me crazy. I couldn't stand Seinfeld. Or Friends, or whatever those shows were. I could never get into those. But their whole premise is about nothing. Okay, dude, truth is truth. Truth is truth. Cost of living is very inaccurate. In fact, I agree, 1,000%. I tell people ask me all the time, well, what is the cost of living in the Philippines? I'm like, well, you got to tell me a whole lot about you. You got to tell me a whole lot about you. Are you drunk? Do you drink a lot? Do you smoke cigarettes a lot? Do you like to womanize? Do you want to live in a really nice place? Do you want to live in a poorer place? You want to live in province? You want to live in the city? Are you going to support kids? What are you going to do? Then your cost of living all comes into those things. So there's just way too many variables. But what I will say that if you as an expat can't live on $2,500 a month in the Philippines and live very, 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 very well, then you're doing something very, 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 very wrong. I can take a hit to the heart. I smoke, I drink, I make sex also. Well, there's a lot of people that do that, Mike. It's not you. Nobody's picking on you. Nobody's saying you're doing anything wrong. I don't go to the clubs or go out and eat very much. So your cost of living is much, kind of like Gary, right? You know, Gary lives a very simple life. Then we got other friends that live a very highfalutin life. And their cost is way different than this cost. So it all depends on where you are. You know, what you feel like. What your purpose is. What your niche is. What your desire are in the Philippines. That's all it is. I'm still happy. Everybody's happy. Happy, 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 happy. You can't not be happy. Well, I guess you can. I mean, if you can truly achieve happiness, I think it's a great thing. I really do. Most people cannot achieve happiness because I believe in the philosophy, from studying philosophy, happiness is not something that's achievable. Happiness is something that you bump into. And when you bump into it, if you recognize what it is that you bumped into, the key is to try to figure out how to bump into it more and more and more. But in the field of philosophy, happiness is not attainable. Little everything, Pat says, oh, help others to find a film like giving advice, going to the Philippines, meeting YouTube friends, educated channels, just a few. Enjoy the tropics. There you go. Pat, I think somebody who's been in your shoes has some great advice to share with others. You know, you've been married, you've been there, you've done that. You probably have some insight that a lot of people don't, so it's great to share. Same thing with Mike. You know, he has insight from his perspective. That's great. Tim's the same way. You know, they all live different lifestyles and comes from a different point of view. I used to watch a guy that was a missionary in the Philippines. Years ago, there was a guy that lived there for 4 years as a missionary. And I watched his channel religiously because I found it very interesting from a deeply devout religious person's view of the Philippines versus, you know, a guy who likes to drink, party, and go out with the hookers point of view, right? Or the family point of view like Ned is now, you know? So I think all of those points of views are very, very, very informative and good to have. I can be happy. Excellent. Well, if you drink a lot, anybody can be happy until the depression kicks in. You know, you got to remember alcohol is a depressant. That's why I lay off the alcohol, because alcohol doesn't make me happy. It just kind of makes me mellow. So I don't drink as much as I used to. I don't do cocaine or heroin or speed. I just do a lot of heart medicine. And none of that makes me happy. So, okay, I challenge you to prove me that I'm not happy to begin with a beautiful bed. I'm not saying you're not happy. You're missing the point. If you want to believe that you're happy, I'm not going to disprove it. It's not my job to disprove it. What I'm telling you, in the realm of philosophy, the philosopher says happiness is not attainable. It's something that you bump into. And when you bump into it, the smart person will keep bumping into doing the same thing. If it makes you happy to be around Venus, then you spend more time with Venus. If it made you unhappy, if it made you happy to go outside and take a brick and pound it on your head, well, that made you truly happy. Well, then you should go outside, take a brick and pound it on your head. That's what that is. But true happiness is not sustainable. Why isn't it sustainable? Because what happens if you're walking down the street and your ankle twists and you fall down? Well, now you're unhappy. So you were happy, but now you're not happy. That's why it's not sustainable. If that makes sense. You always go there. Okay, I don't know where, but I go wherever I go, I guess. I can have a few drinks, not much. Yeah, I just don't do it a lot. I go for days at times, and I go for what days at times? You mean drinking, Mike? You mean I go for days without drinking at times? And we're so happy. I don't, no. I had to fill out 15 pages of forms for the Air Force Reserves, and they never gave me a mailing address or a website to send it to. That's funny. Is that why I am smiling still? I can't make anything negative, Mike. You're missing the point. I can't make anything negative for you. I can't. It's not up to me. It's on you. Oh, they're shut down because of the government? I got it. Yeah, we're not talking about you, Mike. Understand that part. I'm not talking about you, Mike. I'm talking about in grand scheme of things, not you. What I'm trying to explain to you, what I was trying to say was, drinking makes a lot of people happy. Yes. A lot of people it does not make happy. Happiness is not sustainable because if you're happy one moment and then your house catches on fire and burns down, you're no longer happy. You got to wait until you're happy again. That's why you can't maintain happiness. Happiness is this. You know, you're not happy, then you're happy. You're not happy, then you're happy. And the things that make you happy, a smart person will try to repeat it. You know, if you like eating coconut, it makes you really happy, eat more coconut. Yeah. That's all I'm trying to say. Yes. Yeah, you need to get it done. Can I look up anything for you, Tim? Do you need me to Google anything here in the States to help you find an address or anything? With that, I mean, we're happy to help do research for you if I can, Tim. Be happy to do it. But eventually, yeah, you got to get that money coming in, man. Never, the other big secret to life, never turn down money. Look, whether you need it or not, you never turn down, smart people never turn down money. Sounds like the stock market. It is. It is. Sometimes you're in a bear market and sometimes you're in a bull market. That's it. That's it. You got it. You got it. Stock market was doing great today, by the way. I think it was doing good. I think the stock market was up. It was up today. I checked mine earlier. It was doing really well. I got so the website's been shut down for the last 5 days because nobody's there. So as we sent everybody home. All right. Well, Tim, is there anything I could ever do? Just let me know. I can try. Spy, maybe. Be a spy. I don't know why. I think it's funny because, you know, gold has gone down. I thought silver was up recently, though. Somebody was trying to convince me silver was up. You make your living off of the market? Nice. I don't. I don't have to. I haven't taken any money out of the market in years. Every penny that, you know, dividends, they just get reinvested. Mine just sits there. My goal is never to touch it, to be honest. Everything that we have in the markets, or I put in the markets, all the different markets, the different formulas, will never be touched by me. If it's up, sell, covered calls, yes. I don't sell anything. I don't. I buy here and there, but I never sell anything. Yeah, I don't take the dividends. I reinvest all dividends. This is what I do. My goal is never to use the money, to be honest. My goal is when I'm dead, Lorelai can do whatever she wants with it all. So I never take any of the dividends at all. Yeah, I don't really do manual. I buy stock. It's like, you know, like during COVID, I give one example. during COVID, Carnival Cruise Line, their stock tanked, and I bought, hundreds of shares at $6 a share, and now it's in the 30s, the low 30s. So I do that, but I don't sell anything. I just, No, Warren Buffett, has a lot more money. I don't have any money. The problem is between Warren and I, Warren has money. I just don't have any. But yeah, his philosophy is kind of the same. You don't lose any money, right? No matter what the market is doing, you don't lose anything until you sell it. And so my goal is never to sell it, then I will never have lose. Now, Lorelei may lose, but I won't ever lose. Always buy low and hold them. That's it. That's it. So that's what we do. We buy, if I see something low, if I'm interested in the company, I also am really big on, I got to be okay with the company. I got a couple of stocks now that I've had for over 10 years, and I'm not okay with them anymore. So, and they're flat. So I put some notices in to watch when it peaks, and then I'm going to dump them and reinvest that money. How do you think I live? By breathing air. And then once in a while eating a red hot dog in the Philippines or some stinky fish that gives you nutrition. BLTR, we have some. Scotty's back in the house. What are you doing? What are you going to be for Halloween? I am going to be a social media influencer for Halloween. Tropical shirt wearing social media influencer. That's what I'm going to be. Yeah, everything levels out. It does. It does. I can't tell you anything. All right. Keep your secrets. It's okay. Keep your secrets. Don't share any secrets with us. That's all right. We don't mind you not sharing secrets. Fine. We won't be offended. But that's what we do. Or I do. Lorelei doesn't know anything about it except for how to get into the accounts for when I die. Well, I did that when I was still teaching. As I got older in my 401k, I did that. I went from a high risk as a young man, and over every 10 years, I dropped it to safer and safer and safer. I did that. And when I knew I was going to be retiring on disability, I moved my 401k into safe the 3 years before I retired. Because I could tell the writing was on the wall that my heart was going bad. I wasn't going to be able to work, that much longer. So I converted it off to very safe, and it's still there. Scotty says, you're the only one know how to say my name correctly. Wow. That make me special. Thank you for that. I don't know why. I mean, Scotty's a pretty common name. I used to have a coworker named Scotty, and she spelled it the same way. So maybe that's why, because I had a coworker named Scotty. No red hot dogs or dried fish for me. I just know nothing. Well, none of us truly know anything, right? I have a little bit of knowledge, but compared to Warren Buffett, we have no knowledge. I know how planes fly, but in comparison to Elon Musk, I know nothing. I have high risk things, but every dividend I invest in the part, yes. Just a slow 10-year plan. That's the key. I agree. Roll your dividends into safe. So it's kind of like gambling, right? I tell people, when you go to the casino, you take $100 with you, right? For an example. I'm going to go to the casino, and if I win, and now I have $130, I don't now gamble $130. I take that $30, I roll it up and stick it in my pocket where I still got $100 to gamble on. Then if I still lose the $100, at least I walked away with $30, lessening my damage to only $70. If I'm gambling with $100 and I get $10,000, well, $9,900 if it goes in my pocket, And I keep gambling that $100 is what I do. So it's kind of the same thing. I keep it forever, Tim says. Yes, sir. Yeah, you got to do that. You got to, but with my 401k, I recognized where I was going to be going health wise and knew that instead of leaving it in, so I factor that in age wise. I'm only 53 years of age. That's good. Good. It's good that, you have some investments going on. A lot of people get to be in their 50s and they go, holy shit and butt farts. I don't have anything. I know a lot of people living in the Philippines because they can't live in America at 50 years of age. They don't have the revenue stream to support themselves in America. So they got to go live in a third world country in hopes of making it, so to speak. So I roll dividends into some cash and some reinvest into safer stuff and some for tax. Nice. But I don't work. I wish I could go to work. I miss working. I would work tomorrow, if I could. I would. I loved working. You could go back to work tomorrow. Well, if you want to go back to work. I'm going to tell you this, and I really believe this. If you have the ability, whatever your ability is, to make good money, you should take it until the day that you're completely ready to retire and never have a desire to even say, I could go back to work, right? You should make that money as long as you can make money. I'm a big believer in this. Never give money up. I'm loving it here. That's great. You should love it there. I taught so much back in the day, IT, now AI is taking over. I agree with that. You think I should? I think here's what I think. I really believe this. I was talking to somebody the other day who exactly about this topic. Him and I were talking about our wives and other people we knew. Absolutely. If there's a way that you can make money, you should make money. Unless you're so financially set that you never have to worry about the money, that you can pick up and go travel, pay all of your bills. If you wanted to catch a plane and go to Japan for the weekend, and it wouldn't affect your finances. If you wanted to pick up a plane and go to Australia for the week and hang out with the kangaroos, if you're to that point, then maybe not. But if you have the ability to earn money and you're under the age of 62, I would advise you to earn money. Probably not. You've been out of the game a long time. 100K is a lot of money. I used to go to Lake Tahoe to play the slots. When the machine paid out, I would take it and not touch it until I got home. Never bet with the winnings. That's exactly it. Bruce in the house. Hello, brother. Bruce, good to see you. How are you? Everybody, good morning, good evening. How's things in the Philippines for you, Bruce? I'm not financially set to the point I want to be. Well, then your job should be to get to that point. If you can make money, why aren't you? That's what I tell people all the time. If you want more money and you have the ability to make more money, then you should go make more money. I want 10K per month. Nice. Only about 4 to 6K. Bruce, hey Tim, good morning to you. Dividends, etc. Yes, it's good in the Philippines. Nice. Getting adjusted, Bruce? Bruce has trouble here. You're having troubles or you're not? You're not having any troubles. Yes, brother, I'm getting adjusted. Nice lady leader. That's all right. You can do whatever you want. You're the lord and master of your own posting. Yeah, the wife is in the background. No trouble here. Good, Bruce. Good. That's good, Bruce. Glad you're having a good time. What food are you going to eat today? That's what I want to know, Bruce. What food are you going to eat? Pat says, hello to you, Lorelei. Good to see you. I was telling them that you're doing your Halloween party this weekend. So they're all excited to come watch your live stream on Saturday at 5. So they're all going to vote on who has the best costume. So they're all excited about that. But yes, Mike, if you want more money and you have the ability to earn more money, then you should go earn more money. If you're happy where you're at, then who cares? I just never turn down money. If I could go out and get a job tomorrow and actually do the job, I would do it. That's just me. I never turn down money. When I was teaching, I worked 3 different jobs. I did private consulting, I taught part-time, and I taught full-time. Anytime somebody said, hey, would you like to teach an overload? I went, yes. Anybody ever said, hey, can you? And like, yes. How much does it pay? Yes. Yes, I will do that. Hey, we need somebody to go and, hey, does it pay? Yes, I will go do that. I'm not talking about David. Hello, beautiful. Yes, you are. We all know that. Hello, everybody. Lorelei says, I could. Pat says, yes, you are talking about David and his beauty. We all know that. But I do want. Dennis in the house. Wow, the boss is here. Well, thank you for recognizing my leadership skills, Dennis. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for the thumbs up, by the way. Pat says, hello to you, Dennis. Dennis. We're having a big party this weekend, Dennis. Don't forget to show up. 5 o'clock Saturday it starts. What time everybody will be here being silly, I don't know. But 5 o'clock is when the thing's going to start. Yeah, I was a free assistant for David when he had extra consulting. I forgot to charge. No, you didn't. Trust me. Good to see you, Dennis, from Pat, you know. Yeah, Dennis, going to be a lot of women dancing in goofy outfits, so you're going to have to come and lodge your vote. Dennis is asking, Pat, how is the P&P affair going on? I haven't seen Patricia in the last week or two. Mike says, David gave me a hard time for a while until he truly understood. Understood what? What the hell are you talking about? Understood what? I think until you finally understood, young man. Remember, I'm the expert. I am the subject matter expert. You're the one that has to understand me, not the other way around, young man. Get it straight, young man. Haven't either. No, we haven't either. But she gets busy in Cebu. Haven't seen her. Lorelei's going to cook a pig head. I mean, a real pig. You know, a real pig. We cut it off the animal today. We went out in the field and chopped his damn head off. I got one of those big old heavy samurai swords and went out there and lopped off its head. It's sitting in the sink right now draining. And so she's going to cook it this weekend. I also got to cook a turkey because my dog needs to eat. I love David. Everybody loves me. I can't help it, Mike. You know, it's just, you know, I understand. Yep, with the nose of the pork. That's right. They're making all kinds of food for the party. Ribs, biscotti. I don't know. You guys will have to see it. You'll have to tune in to see all the weird food. I don't know what all they're making. Bruce says, hello, Lorelei. Good to see you. Bruce is living in the Philippines now, Lorelei, if you didn't know. Yeah, we'll show you all of the food. We will. In the live stream, we'll show you. But we got all kinds of food coming. Nose, gross. Yeah, it's the real pig's head, you know. If this was the pig and this was its head, this is its head, you know, it's the whole head. I just, we're gonna make it like lechon is what apparently the goal is. It's Halloween, so it must be gross looking, not tasting, right? So they want to make food that makes you go, ooh, it's Halloween. I like the cheeky, Bruce. Hey, Dennis, good to see you. Ozzy's in the house. How are you, buddy? How's Ozzy? Everybody say hello to my friend Ozzy. Ozzy's in the house. Dennis says hello, Bruce, Mike. I say gross, but I like the cheek. Well, why? Why what? Hey, Ozzy. Back, has Ronald been? No, I haven't seen Ronald in about a month. He messaged me the other day, or he commented on something we did on Facebook. He commented on something Lorelai did, but we haven't seen Ronald. Has anybody else heard from Ronald lately? How is the CEO, Dennis? Chief Executive Officer. I didn't know Dennis was that important, Dennis. Wow, somebody's sucking up. Fantastic boss, you. Ozzy says, good to see y'all. Ronald is busy dating his his what, 24-year-old fiance? You know, Ronald's 80 and she's 24. So he probably has to take a lot of naps. Oh, Ronald. The professor, the young man that was from Seattle and Philadelphia, who's living, I don't remember which part of the Philippines he's in right now. Lorelai's taking her break, being nosy. Ronald's a good guy, though. We like Ronald. But no, we haven't heard from Ronald except for coming to Facebook. We haven't seen him in a little bit. But I think Lorelai May has a point with being so busy with the young girl and the baby. Not his baby, but her baby. That he may just be busy, you know. Oh my, 80-24, okay, yes. Do you know that, Ronald? Mike? Kanisha from New York says, I am back. I am back in the house again. Maybe, you know, he is 80. You know, I don't know how much boom he can make, you know, except for maybe a boom when he falls down. Because you know how us old people are. We fall down a lot. So, Ronald's a really good guy, though. You gotta, if you don't like Ronald, it's really hard not to like Ronald. He's kind of like Dennis, but better. Ooh, Dennis. Brother Mike, make him boom. I don't know at 80, 53, I like that guy. Kanisha's watching Charlie Brown. Is that the Punkum? You know, Charlie Brown had a Punkum cartoon, Kanisha? Or something like that. Wasn't there a Halloween Charlie Brown? So, we don't like that guy too much. He's got a girlfriend, Mike. Good show, Kanisha. Yes. What's the name of the cartoon? Charlie Brown's Halloween or something like that? But now I have him into, well, Ronald doesn't look 80. Ronald's actually a good-looking guy. I don't know if he's really 80. He may be 60-something. But, you know, the great Punkum Charlie Brown, that's what it was, Ozzy. Thank you for that. So, that's right. But Ronald's an old Navy guy. He's a tailor. Charlie Brown, Halloween. Oh, what costume is good for Halloween? What costume are you guys all wearing for Halloween? I am glad Venus is 46, not 64. Yes. Yeah, Ronald looks really good for his age. You know, I mean, he looks to be in his 40s, maybe 45. He looks good for his age. He really does. He's a good guy, though. Ronald's a character. Okay, is he your age? I couldn't remember exactly how old he was. I knew he was one of the older ones. But have you heard from him, Tim? Ozzy saying, hello, Patrick. How are you this evening? Mike says he's 35 mentally, 53 chronologically. Good evening, Ozzy, my friend. Ganesha, where's your wife? My wife is at work, but she's in the background chatting. She's the one in the yellow highlight. You see that yellow bar in the chat strip? That's her in the background. So, wife at work, she is typing. Mentally, hey, and I was giving you a lot of credit, Mike, for saying you were mentally 35, because I was going to put you more around 13, 12. But I thought it'd be really nice today and say you were mentally 35, right? You know what I mean? I was trying to boost you up. I was trying to build you up, Buttercup. Yeah, message him, check in on him. But I know he sent us a thing on Facebook. So I know he's alive and kicking. But maybe they don't have a lot of internet where he's at. I don't know. You know how the internet can be there. Lorelei says, Tim, tell Ronald we said hello. Hi, how are you doing, Adventure? Kanisha's asking Lorelei how she is doing. My convenience blessings you give me, that's it. Tim, Mrs. Pack, I will do that. Yes. I'm on break soon to go back to work. Working's good. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, Tim's kind of like all of us. He's feeling his age today a little bit. Ozzy, my good friend Ozzy says, good evening, Mrs. Pack, Mrs. Hotman. Very good to see you today. I know everyone hates, what? Mike says, I know everyone hates me. Why do you think people hate you? I don't understand that one, Mike. Or is your ego so big that you think people hate you? Why do you think people hate you? Everybody likes you. I don't know anybody that hates you. Does anybody on here hate Mike? No. Tell everybody tell Mike that we like him. I don't know anybody that hates you. But it's okay. I give love out. Hey, don't forget to be here this Saturday. That's right, Saturday, 5 p.m. Woo, Lorelei said, so Mike, Venus hates you? There you go. AC there. Yes, Dennis. Yes. In costume, Dennis. And of course, they'll be doing their karaoke and crap, Dennis. I'm an instigator? I don't know about that. I don't think you are. Mike, we love you, brother. No, please, Mike, love you, Mike. Oh, we like you, Mike. Yay, Ozzy. Sometimes Venus, follow it. Well, tell Venus to behave. It's Saturday, U.S. Central Time, 5 p.m., so 3.5, 4 hours before we started tonight. Saturday afternoon, live stream for Lorelei's Halloween party. So, sorry, friend, I'm just having fun. Aw. Yes, Pat will be here for sure. You never know. We don't know who's all coming to be. I don't know who's coming here, to be honest, Dennis. I don't know, but I know there's a bunch of them coming. Mike says, I love you all except for you, Mr. Pack. You know, leader of the pack, leader of the free world, the Lord and Master of the universe. You're the only one that I don't appreciate. I'll be the red devil. I can't be an angel. You know, when I read her comment, I thought she said, I'll be the red dirt devil, you know, like the vacuum cleaner, because we have a red dirt devil. You know, a vacuum cleaner called the Dirt Devil, you know, and it's red. I thought she was talking about the damn vacuum cleaner. And I'm like, what the hell? What, you gonna be a vacuum cleaner? You gotta be crazy. Yeah, she's gonna be some devil looking eye, but P.S. BS, instead of P.S., Bullshit. I love Pat also. You're going live Saturday. Yes, we are, at 5 p.m. I put on a costume 2 years ago that couldn't get the face mask off. Good thing it looks better on me now. Woo-hoo! David talks shit. I do. You know, sometimes you got to talk about bowel movements and all of those medical things and things that we don't like to talk about, but sometimes you got to talk about them. At least on this channel, we're just not afraid to talk about things. So you like that, don't you, Mike? But there'll be a lot of food here, though. A lot of food on Saturday. Here we are. There you are. You know. We're not... do y'all like to talk shit? No, nobody here does except for Mike, Kenesha. So when Mike talks, just close your ears like this. You know, he's the agitator. Hey, spooky food, a bunch of spooky food. I'm going to get you in trouble with Kenesha, Mike. I want to start going to the gym as soon as I get the new pacemaker, Tim. I think I found one that I don't think is disgusting. So not pacemaker, but gym. That after the stitches come out, I'm going to start working out again. I'm laughing too much. That's good. A lot of food. Say more. I'll be there. That's right. Food and women. What else can you imagine? Be careful not to fart, Mike. That's right. Food. I don't know what I mean, we're going to serve some drinks, but nothing. You know, one thing I've learned is I don't provide alcohol anymore. I just let the people bring their own crap. You know, we got plenty of alcohol here if anybody wants to drink it. But we'll have punch and some other things and food. And everybody will bring something. I don't know. Lorelai, how many people do you have coming to your party? Tim, see you later. Go work out. You know why Tim goes to the gym, right? Tim doesn't tell anybody this. But what you don't realize is Tim's personal trainer is a Filipina. I don't know if she's Filipina, but she's a woman. That's why Tim goes to the gym. Is that right, Tim? I was just saying Mike was talking shit. He was. Sick, maybe to 30 or 40, you know. So, but that's why Tim is motivated to go to the gym, because his personal trainer is a female, he told me one time. So, you know, I guess if everybody had a personal trainer that was a female, they'd be more excited to go to the gym. You know, maybe Mike needs to start going to the gym. Mike's looking a little scrawny there. We got to get Pat beefed up. Pat, we got to get you beefed up before you go back to the Philippines too. So, Kenesha got the point. I know. Yeah, she got it. So, I know nothing. We know. That's why you have Venus, because you know nothing. That's right on, Pat says you got to get beefed up. Yeah. You're not really old. You're just slow. I'm old and I'm slow like Grandpa Joe. Or Petticoat Junction, right? Wasn't that? I'm kind of slow like Uncle Joe from Petticoat Junction. No gym, my back. Well, mine too. But if you exercise, your back won't hurt as much. My feet hurt today horribly. My knees hurt, back hurt. The weather's changing. You know, I got to get a new pacemaker. I gotta have a lot of things. But yet I'm gonna go, Mike. Does gas have lumps? Lumps and bumps. What did you have for dinner? I had a peanut butter sandwich. What did you have, Kenesha? I had a peanut butter sandwich. What did everybody have for dinner? Pat, what did you have? Pat always has good food to eat. And I mean really good food. It's what I don't understand. He weighs about 2 pounds because he's so skinny. But he eats really good food, which I'm kind of jealous of. I mean, really good food. I got ready for the Philippines, that's for sure. Yes, you got to get ready, man. Don't let those people, don't let the naysayers, take away your pleasure, right? I'm back, my neck is hurting today. Yeah, my whole body's hurting. I've done a lot of work the last few days. And the weather's changing. I can feel it coming in. I have nothing to compare to you. Nothing. I pray for you. That's good. I had rotisserie chicken with a salad. Ooh, that's nice, Ozzy. That's okay. Kind of fatty, but okay. The chicken bugs me because it's so fatty. You know, American chicken has all this fat on it. When we buy it at Walmart, you get it home and it's just. But Ozzy does meat. Aren't you the guy that does the meat, Ozzy? Are you? Is that? Are you? Is it you or Jimmy that are the meat distributor? I can't remember. What did Pat say? Oh, I gotta read what Pat said. Hold on. Pinto beans, cornbread, biscotti. Well, the pinto beans you can keep. The cornbread's good. Biscotti's good. Garlic bread's good. We have good food here. You do. We do. The Philippines, you know, any country that's not America has good food. This is what I'm convinced of. Any country but America has good food. But make fun of what? No, we like the food in the Philippines, Mike. You have to understand that. We all like the food in the Philippines. Kanisha says, I had a hamburger and baked potato with mac and cheese veggies yesterday. Well, what did you have today? You know, it's delicious. I don't like black eyed beans. Ozzy Yippers cooks to go next door to me. Nice. Ozzy says, I eat ribeye, man. Don't tell my wife that. My wife would eat ribeye 20 times a day, in a week, a day, every day of the week. My wife believes in eating meat. I think it's disgusting. You're going to have to pack her up some meat and ship it in, Ozzy. Yeah, Lorelai will eat any freaking meat. I will pray for you, my friend. Appreciate that. Not necessary. It's only a pacemaker. I mean, it's really no big deal, guys. Trust me. I could do it myself if they would just give me the shit to do it with. The pacemaker, I could cut this open and do it myself. It's really not that big of a deal. Kanisha says, nothing, you cannot shut up. I love it. Don't pray too much, Mike. You will be a saint soon. I'll try to give him prayers. So, yes, I try not to think about all the poison. Oh, I know, man. It's horrible, right? The poison in American foods, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I just can't believe how much fat is in a chicken. You know, chickens aren't fat animals. You are funny. Are you making fun of my wife? Is that what you're doing, Mike? So, say that, Lorelai? Mike says you're funny. But yeah, I don't get American food. I mean, it's just gross. So I eat peanut butter, which is probably even worse. No! That's the reason I want to go to the, yeah. The food, that you know, I really mean it. I've done a lot of research, and I mean a lot of research. And it frustrates the shit out of me how Americans are so hell-bent on saying, no, 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 don't give us better food. Just let us keep eating the same nasty chemical shit that we have on the shelves. So they're mad at the government for the government trying to make us healthier. Yeah, I don't get it. But go anywhere but here, and you'll get food. She does. Unlike others, she has a sense of humor. Are you saying Venus doesn't have a sense of humor? When she gets up, I'm going to tell her what you said. I hear their food. It is, because it's real food. My intention is genuine. It's, you know, there's a lot of bad things about the Philippines, but food is not one of them. Now, granted, it's simple food, but between the fresh fruit, which I love fresh fruit. I mean, I like fruit. So there's so much fresh fruit. And then if you do got to eat meat, it's fresher. You know, the chicken, which is 90% of the menu. And then pork, you know, so the other 90% of the menu. But it's a lot, everything's fresher. It just is. Mike says, we just eat what grows out of the ground, or if meat, what eats from the ground. Simple, there you go. Yeah, Lorelai is saying it's healthier because it goes through the process a lot faster. So what's raised, butchered, and cooked is bought and cooked that day. So it doesn't linger, so it doesn't need to be additive preservatives. Here, the chicken at Walmart in my local store that's 2 miles away probably came from 200 or 300 miles away. So it had to be packaged, processed, chemically treated, and then shipped to the store. There, the chicken probably didn't come more than 5 or 10 miles away. Mike says, don't get me into sinus. Don't get me into science because I know nothing about science. I'm going to get Mike riled up. I quit drinking soda in 2017. That's good. That's really good. Soda's the worst thing for you. I stopped eating Doritos, Mike said. Mike says, right on. I stopped eating Doritos and other yeah. Potato chips are horrible. Lorelai eats them like they're going out of style. So, but it depends. That's why our no panic to set the food on the table for a few hours because it's fresh, unlike here, it's already old, so it can't be sitting on. Lorelai has to go back to work. See you guys this Saturday? All right. Yeah, I have a real issue about food hygiene, and it's kind of an American thing. I don't like to eat food that's been sitting out. I won't eat it here or there that's sitting out forever. I don't like it. I won't do it. So if we go to a lot of parties where the food has been sitting out for hours, David's not eating that shit. I'm not taking it home to eat either. So I'm not eating it. I'm not going to do it. Pat says, take care. But the process in the Philippines is it just doesn't last on the shelf as long. You eat it, it gets processed. Kind of like supply and demand, right? Ozzy says, good night to you, Mrs. Pack. Good night. So the Philippines is great for the food quantity, but Mexico's the same way. This is what aggravates the crap out of me, is if you look at what other people do, we are ass backwards in America when it comes to eating healthy food. We just are. And I know why. It's because it's business. It's money. To be honest, my friend, there is nothing that you could say to make me change my mind about you. That's all right. It's okay. I don't try to make people change their mind, but look, I don't mind the fact that you put me on a pedestal, MJ. I'm used to people going, wow, there he is. That's the guy I know. I understand how high. I get it. And of course, Mike, as you know, the sad thing is I don't really care what people think about me. You know that. So I just don't. I gave up caring years ago. Call me this, call me that. Call you okie dokie. Call me this, call me that. Call me this. I don't know that one. I don't know that one, Mike. I don't know that one. Call me this, call me that. I got cut off soda pop. I like iced tea more than soft drinks. Well, I do too. We all do, but soft drinks are a drug, right? Ozzy knows this. He hasn't had soda in a long time. But he knows that if he went and had a soda or two, he'd be hooked like that. He'd be back on the soda wagon like you wouldn't believe. He'd be going, woo-wee. Sign me up, Buttercup. Give me some more soda. It's a drug. It's chemically addictive thing. The sugar. Sugar is one of the most addictive things there is in the world. My goodness. No way. Oh, well, don't try it. I don't want you to go down a bad rabbit hole. So don't try it. Don't tempt it. Don't do it. I have faith in you. Everything is a conspiracy. Yes, everything is. No matter, you're right. Everything is a conspiracy. Everything is a conspiracy. Absolutely. Doesn't mean it's bad or good, but it is a conspiracy. I agree. I agree with you, Mike. Everything is a conspiracy. AC, more addictive. Arm candy is more addictive. Well, it can be for some of us, like you, Dennis, who can't control themselves. Ooh, Mountain Doo-Doo. Man, Mountain Dew is harsh. It's harsh. It's harsh. I'm always right, but you never listen. Why would I listen? Give me 3 reasons. Give me 3 reasons, Mike, why I should listen. Give me 3 reasons why I should listen. Other than that, yeah, I used to drink. We still do, but you know, why? Why not? Who's on first? I forgot. Why's on second? Or who's on second? Why's on first? Who's on second? You got to stay away from the bad foods. We just do. And then, our food is such shitty, sucky, crappy. It's frustrating. It really is. It really is. When you go to a place like the Philippines, and you kind of get used to eating the proteins. Now, they don't have good cheese, and their bread is kind of Yankee. But when you get used to eating their proteins, and you come back to America, and you eat and same thing Dennis would tell you, from Venezuela to Colombia to freaking Mexico. When you come back to the United States and you eat a steak or a piece of bacon, you kind of go, is this even the same? It doesn't seem to be the same. Why? Give me 3 steps. I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken. I've never been mistaken that I was mistaken. That's right. Okay, 3 reasons. I like the Philippine food. I found good cheese. Is the one in the wax, the orange wax? Because that's the only one I found in the Philippines where the rotten shit was the cheese in the orange ball. All the other to me was low class turtle cheese, bad cheese. Yeah, we've searched high and low for cheese, and even buying the American peanut butter is good, but you can't get other than that. Why am I still here? Because you like Venus? Or are you talking about in the live stream? One of the two. Because you like cheese? I like cheese. But the only cheese I've ever found there, imported, did you go to like Landry's? Is that what it's called? Landry's? If I remember right? I think they had some there. But on a regular basis, all we could find was the cheese in the orange wax, or red wax. I can't remember if it's orange or red. But that's good cheese. Other than that, with that cheesy, pasty crap that comes in those little jars and crap. So, same thing with peanut butter and things. You got to get the imported American stuff. But because they don't make good S&R, places like that and Landers. So you can find it, but it's not readily available. It's just not easy. Not easy to get. It's not super expensive. I don't remember how much the orange cheese was, how much the ball of cheese was, but I would probably buy one every 2 weeks. Yes. I like donuts here. Doesn't taste like they used to either. Dolly Madison was the best donuts around. It's the sugar. It's like weird thing is when you travel, you eat a pastry in some other foreign country, right? You go, oh, wow, this is really nice. And then if you eat an American pastry, it's because it has so much sugar in it, you kind of go, ugh. I've done that in other parts of the world, not only just the Philippines, but, on cruises in other countries we've been in. And you go, wow, I can definitely taste not the sugar. Mike says, I know and I agree with you. You are the most wonderful hat-wearing guy in the whole entire world. Pat says, right on. So that's, we have a new French bakery over here, right? That's jammed pack. You can't, if you want anything, they only open from about 7 to 10 and they run out of product. So if you want anything, you got to get in line at 7 a.m. I bought some stuff the other day and their stuff was really, really good, but it's all fresh baked right there in-house. So many difference. It is. It's a big difference. It is. What I like, and I tell everybody this, and Lorelai and I have talked about this, look, when we lived in the Philippines, we could eat like pigs, and we did. We ate anything we wanted to eat. We didn't worry about our weight. We didn't worry about the food, right? We just bought the Goldilocks or the Red Ribbon or the Jollibee or the Chow King and had everything delivered. You know, we went out and ate a lot, but we lost weight living in the Philippines, eating like kings. And then once we got back to America, we both gained a bunch of weight, you know, which was just unbelievable because we were watching our diet in America and we just, I am still here. I have Venus in bed. That's a good place to have women folk, Mike, I guess. You're there, or the kitchen, or the laundry room, doing the laundry. New bill just delivered. Now you got a bill to pay. Uh-oh. We got a lot of bills to pay. I'm being charged $350 for a pacemaker, buddy. I don't want to hear about your $10 peso bill. You know, a bill for 10 pesos in the Philippines. I got to pay $350 to get a used, broken down old pacemaker. So, you got to remember, I'm just a poor farm boy. You know, or poor hat-wearing guy. I don't know what the hell I am. We all respect Venus. You know why we respect Venus? Because she puts up with you. We got to give the women folk a lot of props for putting up with us. Just ask Pat. You know, not 10 pesos. 100 peso bill. A lot of our bills were less than 500 pesos. Maybe 1,000 for something here and there. So, you have more money than me. No, you told us how much money you make every month from your dividends. No, we know that you make 100,000 USD a month from your dividends. We know this. You told us this earlier, remember? Shut up. Oh my gosh, that's not very nice of you. That's not very nice. Now, we're all poor. If we were really rich, none of us would be here. We had better things to do. I hate to burst y'all's bubble, but if I won the lottery, I would be traveling a lot. I don't know if I would have that much time to spend with you guys. I would check in with you on a regular basis, but while I'm cruising the Mediterranean in my private yacht, you know, or flying in my private jet to go and do fishing somewhere in part of the world, I don't know how much time I would have for you. You know, make $100,000 a month? Well, I thought we all made $100,000 a month. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about pesos. I'm talking about American money. American money. No. Well, and what I tell you is what I tell everybody. The number one secret to having money is never to tell people how much money you have. Always lie to them. I tell young people all this all the time. I tell them, as you start to grow up, people are going to say, oh, wow, how much money would you make your job? Lie. Tell them $2 less an hour or $3 less an hour. How much money did you pay for your car? Lie. Oh, I'm still paying for it. I'm in debt. You know, no matter what the situation. You know, you just got drafted by the Chicago Bears to play football. Well, and you signed a $25 million contract. Well, you lie. Say, no, I never got the $25 million. No, my mama got it. You know, or the drug dealer got it that I owed money to. I don't know, but you always lie about money. You never tell anybody the truth. Ever, ever, ever. That's my number one advice. Lie. Right, Mike? Mike agrees with me. Glad you're my friend. That's what I can say. I am your friend. I'm probably, Mike, be serious. I'm probably one of the people that you could count on, just so you know. I may give you a hard time, but I am somebody you could probably count on. Ozzy likes that. I have no car payment, but own a car. Same here. We have 2 cars and no car payments. But ours are old and broken down, and we need great donations to fix them. So we have crappy cars. If you want me to have a better car, then you got to super chat me so I can get a better car. We have crappy cars. I'll be selling my truck if I like the Philippines. Well, one, you never want to take a truck to the Philippines. Don't do that. You probably know that, but don't ever do that. Maybe on my level. Maybe on my level. Okay. What kind of truck do you have, by the way? Is it something that Mike might want in the Philippines or in America? So what kind of truck? I don't have, yeah, we don't have payments. We don't do that. Now we may, maybe, never. What we do is we may finance a vehicle so that we can get any extra rebates or any other BS, any dealer incentives for financing it. And then I turn around and I pay it off at the first payment. So you might what? I will always have your back. I would take care of you, Mike. I would protect you. But yeah, having payments sucks. I tell people all the time, you know, you got to understand math. If you owe money, then you're broke. Period. The only way that you're not broke is when you don't have any debt, right? Period. It's a 25 Silverado with a V-plow. What the hell are you doing with a V-plow? You know, well, you're in what, New Hampshire? All right, that kind of makes sense. But yeah, you're definitely going to want to sell that puppy. And if you like the Philippines, you're definitely going to want to. One thing we did before we went to the Philippines, we took the opportunity and sold our nice cars, and I bought a simple car for the year that we were waiting. BS, it's a 2500 heavy duty. It'd have to be with a plow. But I bought it. 2500 is awesome. Too big. Yeah. Yeah, the key is, and I really mean this, when I talk to people, is that if you have debt, then you're broke. You know, you can only be truly not broke if you have no debt. Even if it's a house and you got a really good interest rate, the bottom line is, as long as you have debt, you're not in the plus column. You're just not. I know both places. So the Mercury is paid for. It has 5,500 miles on it now. That's not bad. Not bad. But seriously, I tell people, one piece of advice I give is, if you think you're going to do the Philippine thing, go do it, come back, and you're like, well, it's going to take me a year, 18 months to make it happen. Get rid of these things. And if you got to just get you a cheap vehicle that, you know, because you can, maybe you're at the peak when you can maximize your return on the Chevy, do that. That's what we did. It is a debt. You know, it is a debt. And I agree with you. You know, I try to get this across to my wife that, look, if we have debt, then we're not in the plus column, period. You know, I was telling my brother about this the other day. Him and I like to talk about finances and money. And it's kind of like, you know, his wife and him and me and my wife have the same problem. I think you should be 100% debt-free. Then you can take all your extra money and buy any bullshit that you want. The women folk think, no. Let's buy all the extra bullshit that we want and not worry about being debt-free. But it's kind of like if you're debt-free, then you don't have to worry about whether the crap you buy is, you know, and it's a lot less stressful to be debt-free and to buy shit you don't need than to buy shit you don't need and have debt. You know, the stress factor. So my brother and I are in the same boat with our wives. His wife's from Canada, though. No need for a vehicle. No, I would agree. I wouldn't buy a vehicle in the Philippines either. I don't even have health insurance. Are you in good health, though? I got a feeling you're in really good health. Ozzy, are you in the Philippines? Yeah, he's up in New Hampshire still. Look, I tell people the name Michael Onstad sounds really familiar, Mike. My brain's a little squishy from the coma, so it has blocks in it. I'll look them up. I know the name very well, but I don't know why I know the name Michael. I don't know why I know his name. I don't know why I know his name, but I know his name. Well, Ozzy, I don't know. You can get insurance in the Philippines. You can get international insurance like Pacific Health. Is it Pacific Health or Pacific Coast Health? Something like that. So you can buy that. We looked at that even for me and studied that really, 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 really hard. I think what you got to take into consideration with health insurance and going to the Philippines is this. What's your health condition like? What I did was, mine's bad. I studied it and realized it was financially better off for me to put the premium into a separate account and just use that to pay for anything I needed to pay for. Because if anything's serious, like when my heart was acting up in the Philippines, I would have came back to the United States to deal with the serious issues, and then Medicare would have kicked in. I can get health care, you can get health care. Yes, you can get health care. Dental work, that's cheap enough. Get it in the Philippines. It won't cost you that much. Oh, Michael's the guy that sells insurance in the Philippines. You don't got to go that route. I remember Michael now. I remember Onstad now. I remember him now. He's the guy that sells insurance in the Philippines to expats. But you can go to Pacific, and just buy it off of the website. Pacific something. Because that's who we were going to use. The professor's in the house. There he is. Were your ears burning? Ronald, was your ears burning? We were talking about you earlier. Brother, doing good to see you. And Lorelai says hello, by the way. Hope you can keep up the pace. Joke Lang, God bless you for whoop whoop. Yes. Yes. Pacific Cross. Yes, Pacific Cross. Ozzy, I heard Turkey. Oh, no, don't go to Turkey. There's a but. Don't go to Turkey. Have you not seen the funny videos about the turkey teeth? You need to Google that. No, don't go to Turkey. Don't go to Turkey, man. Whatever you do, don't go to Turkey. You can have it done in the Philippines. Everybody say hello to Professor, please. I have Sigma, that's the other one. Sigma International. I have nothing. I know nothing. Ozzy says hello to you. Hey, Ronald. Wow, Miss Man, a.k.a. Mr. Staples in the house. So, dental work's cheap in the Philippines. Don't worry about insurance for the dental work. Same thing, just flying to Mexico and getting it done. So don't worry about that. But big medical, Sigma, Pacific, and a few others is the way to go. The Baconator in the house, he is. The arm candy chasing Baconator. Sigma is usually the most expensive, Mike says. I don't remember when I did the comparison, who was the most expensive. I found Pacific Cross to be the one, for whatever reason, that I thought I would go with if I was going to go with one of them. I don't remember why, but I did a video about it years ago, but I don't remember why. Hey, Pat's in the Philippine Dreams, Migman Dennis. So Ronald, how are you? What's going on? How's the woman and the baby and the Philippines? Have you been shake, rattling, and rolling, or you been safe? Lorelei was worried about you. Tim was asking about you too. Tim was in here earlier. He had to go to the gym and work out, but he was wanting to know if we've seen you lately. And Ronald, Lorelei's having that big Halloween party this Saturday at 5 p.m. our time. So we're going to have everybody come and we're going to do a live stream on StreamYard and vote on the costumes. Just call my signal at 5:20. Oh, that's not bad. Back in the day when we were going to do it, it's going to be about, around, $4 to $5, I don't remember, $400 to $500. But I really did. I did the math and went, now look, if I took that $500 and I just sat it back, I could just pay for my medical in the Philippines. Because I truly would have caught a plane for the heart or the lungs that I have problems with. I would not have done any of that in the Philippines. Yes. Yep. So she's going to be doing the live stream, the Halloween party. Live stream, Ronald. She's excited. It's expensive per month. That's per month. Per month. And that's where I did the math, Now, I can't remember, Ozzy, if you're ex-military or not. A lot of you guys, Ronald knows this better than anybody on here. But, if you need to, you can fly back to Guam, right, Ronald, and do the military base in Guam? Or is the military guys able to do anything on at Clark Air Force Base these days? Or what's going on over there with Clark? It is. It's a lot of money per month. Yeah. That's where I went, okay, that's $5,000. $6,000 a year. I'll just set that over here, right? And that'll get me a ticket back home, easily. Me and Lorelei easily get us tickets and take care of everything. If my pacemaker was going to go off, I wasn't going to have the pacemaker replaced in the Philippines if we still lived there. I was actually going to go to like Japan and have it replaced, somewhere Australia, somewhere a lot closer. Instead of coming back to America for this. But I wasn't going to do this in the Philippines. Yes, sir, out of pocket, Ozzy, not military. Okay. Couldn't remember, Ozzy. Yeah, Medical Clark, Medical City Clark, yes. Okay, I knew there were some new things going on there, right, with everything that's going on. I just, me not being a military guy, I didn't know for sure, Ronald. Mike says, I will pay for your medical insurance, Ronald. Wow. Did you see that? Mike says, I pay. He's going to pay for everybody. You guys just let Mike know how much you need. I'll pay. No, we don't want your money, Mike. You keep your own pay. You still have your your FMP. Is that your military stuff, I'm assuming? Because I don't know what FMP is. But that's what a lot of guys I talk to, back in the day were going to Guam, but now there are other places and that you can do stuff from a military standpoint. I pay $550 per month for a place to live in the U.S. Well, that's really cheap in America. $550 for an apartment in America, that's really cheap. You couldn't scratch your ass for $550 where we live. You couldn't. You couldn't get a hotel room. Yeah, yeah. I pay and get reimbursement. Okay, all right, gotcha. Okay, I got you. Yeah, and that's a lot of it, Ozzy. Just so you know, a lot of these insurance work just that way. You pay the money up front, you got to submit the bills, and you got to get them to send you a check back. So just know up front, all of these insurances are that way. You pay up front. And that's kind of where I was still like, all right, if I got to pay it up front and get reimbursed, well, then I'll just have a savings account of my own, collect the interest off of my savings account, and do it that way. But that was my choice. So, but if you're a healthy person, I wouldn't sweat it so much. To be honest, I just want it. If you're, it's like Pat and I are physically, we struggle. So if Pat was going to live in the one, I would tell Pat, and I talked to Pat personally one-on-one about this, so he knows that I'm not telling stories. But if I was Pat, I wouldn't live in the Philippines. David, me, myself, with my bad heart, bad lungs, bad legs, bad everything, it was extremely good and bad living in the Philippines with bad health. So, you know, you kind of got to decide what type of lifestyle you want to live and if you're healthy enough to live it in the Philippines, because it's a big difference. Mike says, I still have that apartment. Good to know. Need to go crawl into bed with Venus. Well, make sure she knows that you're there. So, but that's always a good thing to do. Yes, you have. I have MS, but I don't take MS. Okay, so it's in remission. You're having that. Pat says, that's right, Brother David. So it's like Ronald's in good health. Ronald does well in the Philippines. One, he's an old military guy. He's easygoing. But his health is good. He does well there. Ozzy says, see you, everybody. Take care, everybody. Say goodbye to Ozzy. All right, Ozzy, you're leaving? No, Mike's leaving. I'm sorry. Mike says goodbye. Ozzy says goodbye, Mike. See you. Enjoy your evening. Relax. Enjoy the morning sunshine in the Philippines. Remember, it's always more fun. But that's just how I see it, to be honest. I'm one of these people that have come to believe that if you can't truly enjoy yourself, physically enjoy yourself, then why are you doing it? Don't go. And I'll tell you this. I think Venus will like it. Just hugs to Venus. All right. Well, I'm just saying, I would just let her know you're there. I don't like people sneaking up on me. I know that's how I spent 25 years in prison, was somebody sneaking up on me. It was the last time they did that. So I'm just trying to give you some advice. Haven't been sick with the simplest of elements. Yeah, see? And that's what I kind of mean is this. If you're unhealthy, you're going to be unhealthy here or there, right? Now, in some ways, you may be healthier in the Philippines because the quality of the food is better. Maybe your mental state is better. But if your mental state is worse because of your limitations due to your health, then that's going to play a factor in that. And I think most people would agree with this. See ya, Mikey. There you go. Professor says, let Venus know the eclipse is coming, Mike. Yeah. You never did 20. Yeah. All right. Take care, Brother Mike. Good to see you. Mike says he has to go BS his wife, I guess. BS? I don't know. Well, all right. We'll tell her we said hi. Don't BS her. Just tell her we said hi. So, but I'm real big on that. If you're, I don't know. I kind of just look at it as life sucks. Life is hard. Life is a challenge. So you need to figure out how you can still enjoy life with those challenges, with it sucking. And if you're in an environment that's not conducive to your well-being, and then you're not going to enjoy it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like we like to travel. I found the Philippines extremely boring. Boring as all get out. Mike says 25 years of BS. Well, you haven't been with Venus that long. So only a couple years. Mike says, all right, everybody, good night. Gotta go. I will see you people down the road. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for caring that David's going to get a new pacemaker. Chef Lawson's, hey, I know I left for a bit because I was going to go to sleep because I have a math test tomorrow. That's 50% of my grade. Whoa, holy crap. So I'll catch you up on the next one. Hopefully I'll have a great night. Well, good luck on the math test. Remember, it's okay to cheat in math. No, I didn't say that. No cheating, just relax. When you take your test tomorrow, just clear your head and do your best and don't stress. Remember, the number one way to do well on a test is to understand sometimes the answer to question number 2 is down in question number 40. Because as teachers, we rewrite the questions over and over the same way, just differently. And if you're smart, you'll read the whole test and go, oh, well, that one answers that one, and that one answers that one. There you go. Chef Lawson, hey, Chef Lawson, how are you, my friend? Don't get me caught. I say, Chef, good luck to you. He's a good guy. He's a good kid. He's doing well in school, and he's a fine young man that hopefully we won't emotionally or mentally corrupt too badly. But he's a good guy, everybody. So, but I don't know. I just think, even here in America, life is tough, right? Everywhere we go, life is tough. I think the key is at least here in the United States, I can get around easily. We had a lot of struggles in the Philippines getting around because of the conditions. So, I sat a lot of time in the back of a car to go 2 miles. I'm like, oh my God, Well, my math teacher is really smart, and she did not do that on the last one. And believe me, I checked, but never give up checking. Never, always check. And I'll tell you a secret, how I learned this when I was a very little bitty baby, teeny tiny baby about this big. I took a test one time, and at the very end of the test, it said, it was like question number 50 or whatever, at the bottom of the test, it said, do not answer any of the previous 49 questions. Because I had a teacher who wanted to make a point to us about reading the whole test before we took the test. So when I got to number 59, after filling out 49 damn questions, it said that if you made it to question 50, you didn't have to answer the first 49 questions. He should have got a poke in the eyeball, is what he should have did, make me do all that work. Okay, so we're bored in the Philippines. What's the next best country to go to live cheap? Well, Ozzy, to be honest, the question is, the Philippines is boring, but Mexico's boring. America's boring. Everything's boring. Well, my point kind of is this. If you're going to go to the Philippines or Thailand or anywhere, you got to figure out how not to be bored. That's what I hear from myself and many thousands of other expats. It's easy to be bored in a foreign country when you're an expat. So you got to decide, and I'm going to give the example like this. The mistake, one of the things that we could have and should have did in the Philippines, Lorelai and I, was when we moved there, we got wiped out by Typhoon Odette. So, everything went downhill for us pretty quick, being homeless. But what we should have done was bought a beach resort. We looked at it. We should have went and bought a beach resort, a business that she could have ran, could have been hers. We would have lived on the beach resort. I would have had something to do, putts around the beach resort, go fishing, place to hang out, things to do. It would have gave me a purpose other than sitting in a cheap plastic chair, sitting in a concrete bunker, waiting for Jollibee to arrive. So you got a PlayStation. Well, that's great, but you can't play video. Well, I guess you can. I don't know. I guess I'm just not a gigantic video game player all the time. I like to get out and do things. I like to learn, study, and interact. So I found it quite boring because I had nothing to do but sit around and play my iPad. And so that's what as an example, if you like staying busy. Now, if you're single and all you're going to do is go out and date with a different girl every day, well, there you go. Or if you're an alcoholic and you're going to sit there and just get drunk every day, well, there you go. That's your thing to do. But if you're somewhat high functioning and you like to be active, then you kind of got to figure out something to do. You can't work in the Philippines. They're not going to let you. It's not like America. You can't work in the Philippines, right? Can you buy your girlfriend a sorry store? Sure, but you're going to lose money on that. But you got to find something to do. You just do. That's my advice. I don't know. What do you guys think? Ronald, if you're still here, what do you think? Pat, what do you guys think about that? For most guys, just sitting around doing nothing every day, look, and this was part of the problem for us, to be honest. Scott's World and News and Sports. Good morning to you, Scott's. Scott's, how are everybody's hello to Scott's Way? Changed the name, did we, Scott? How are you, buddy? What's going on? Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. It's intermittent. If you got it, you're lucky. If you don't, well, you don't. It's not going to be guaranteed unless you buy Starlink. So it's just not going to be guaranteed. Or electricity, or water for that matter, or toilets. So, or food. Nothing's guaranteed. Scott says, yep, in the province, bored. See? Scott says that, yes, especially in the province, you can be extremely bored. But even in the city, if you're not just a people person who just loves to go and talk to people and bump elbows, I didn't enjoy the cities. Cities are crowded, Cebu City, crowded, dirty, noisy. A lot of good things in the city, but you also got to realize the good and the bad. Hello, Ozzy and Patrick. Good to see you from Scott's. So, that's what I'm saying. You kind of got to have just a purpose. And we didn't have a purpose in the Philippines. And then when Typhoon Odette hit, wiped us out, and we had no power, had to be homeless, and no water, no toilets. And then it was so slow to get up and running that for months I was still dumping water into the toilet to flush it because we had no water restored back on the island. It's just something you got to really, really think about. And what I equate it to is kind of like going on a cruise ship. Cruise ships are great, but they got everything. Now, the cruise ship didn't have internet or electricity or fresh water or activities, because how many times can you go to the same beach? We'd go to the same beach, and I'm like, all right, well, this is great. We'd try to go find places to fish. Well, we couldn't fish there because it's all polluted or marked off, So all I'm saying is you got to find a purpose. And that's a man thing. And what I mean by that is, even in America, if we retire, and I tell people, you got to be really careful about retirement. Retirement sucks. I hate being retired. Hate it with a passion. If it wasn't for the fact that I have the internet and I can come on here and make an ass out of myself, I would be really in bad shape during retirement. Because there's just nothing to do. I hate being retired. That's my personality. We're kind of a city province, but actually nothing to do without traveling at least a half hour or ride somewhere. Scott says, yeah. So the other thing is, look, when we're living in Cebu City, it would take us a half hour to an hour to get to the damn mall, because of traffic. And you get used to that, but it's still kind of like, I could walk here faster than I'm riding in this taxi. So I get, and then of course the elevators are broken or the escalators are broken or this is broken. So yeah, the Philippines is a great place to be. You just have to, I tell people, you got to have something to do there. And it can't just be, screwing around with pretty girls. If you're a family guy and you got a bunch of kids at home and you're raising kids, well, all right, because then, maybe you're teaching them English, you're taking them to school, you're doing those things with your kids, maybe. All right, maybe you're healthy enough that you can go down and play basketball with the guys because they play a lot of basketball. So, but if you live up in the province, maybe you live by a beach that has good fishing, and maybe you can get into fishing there. But you got to have something to do, is what I tell people. I don't know. That's just my thought on how to be successful in any country, including America. Because we, as men, most men need to have a purpose. This is how we are. We think we should have a purpose. Sitting around being a big old blump on a log doesn't usually do too well for us. We get bored easily. That's why we have collector cars, right? We have old cars in our garage. Or we have a really kick-ass outdoor kitchen where we barbecue and smoke meat, or, we play games, or we do puzzles, or we build models. Or sometimes we do all of the above because, I'm a scattered brain. Just kind of the way it is, right? So that's kind of my advice on some of that. I hope that helps. I don't know. You can go to the movies a lot. You can go bowling in the Philippines. And I do think having a routine where you get out and do things is a good thing. Now, I don't necessarily think you should go hang out with other expats because most expats are idiots like me. So I wouldn't encourage you to have an expat community unless you really like Americans. I'm one of the people that when I travel overseas, I don't want to hang out with the Americans. I want to hang out with the locals. And a lot of Americans are kind of that way when they're overseas, believe it or not. We're not the friendliest people. I've always found it interesting that when Lorelai and I travel, we'll be in an airport in Korea or Aruba or somewhere on a cruise, I don't know, Los Angeles. And if there's one Filipino within 100 miles, they're going to find each other. If I'm in Aruba and I hear somebody speaking American English, I go the other way. The Filipinos run towards each other. I don't know how they do that. I do a lot of nothing right now, but if I get bored, I can jump in the truck and go somewhere. That's the other key. That's great. You got to be able to, for us, we went through a hard time because we had no power, no water for months. So, we were restricted because of that. Typhoon Odette coming in and laying waste to the land. But still, and the other bad thing for me was, it's not like I could get anything done. In America, I can pick up a phone call and I can call any bank, any utility company, any mechanic, any car dealer, anybody, and I can get shit done. I can get the car tagged. I can get anything done I want done. In the Philippines, Lorelai has to do it all. Because one, they're either going to overcharge me or pretend they don't understand me in the hopes of overcharging me. I can't go to the bank in the Philippines, so Lorelai has to do it. And it's frustrating to somebody like me who's used to being able to be high functioning, but yet I can't get shit done myself in the Philippines. It's very frustrating for me. Very frustrating. Very, very, very. But that's just me, guys. But Ozzy, I encourage you to go. Absolutely. Have you started to think about, I know Pat's hoping he can go next year, but Ozzy, have you started to think about when you're going to go over to the Philippines? And I think that's a different thing too. Have you, and there's a big difference between going over for a month and having a great time and then going over for a year. Went and did my extension on Tuesday, and it's a very large mall there. So we spent a lot of time just checking things out, but malls are boring, yes. That was my problem. The malls are repetitive. Now, I don't mind going to the mall once. I like seeing new things. I like looking at all the knockoff stuff, right? So instead of buying a pair of shoes that says Nike, you get something that says Nuki, all the knockoffs. I think that's kind of fun to watch. But they're all pretty much the same. I mean, we did all the malls. We did the aquariums, the zoos, all of these things that you could do, but you're part of our problem may have been the fact that we truly wanted to go to Japan and Australia while we were living there. But when Odette hit, it screwed things up so badly that none of that came to fruition. Not sure yet. I was supposed to go in January, but there's not going to happen. All right. Well, I'm a big believer in just when it's meant to be, it's going to be. But I encourage you to go. I mean, I think it's one of the great experiences that I tell people all the time they can have, is going to a third world country especially, but the Philippines is a little unique. One, everybody usually is happy. Now, what I do tell people, because I'm a very, honest person, I tell people the people in the Philippines are happy people compared to like Americans. But when you're there on vacation, one thing you have to remember is they're very happy and very helpful because you're there on vacation. If you live there, that happiness and excitement about you goes down. It doesn't go away, but it's not the same level of happiness and giddiness as when you're staying at the beach resort or the luxury hotel in Cebu for a month. All the ones you're going to run into are extremely happy and helpful. Well, it's their job. When you're living there permanently, it's a different story. Scott says, yep, they have a store called No Name, which stands for No Name Brands, yes. Well, and they just have some weird names, right? Yeah, you definitely get the stuff that has no branding, but I was at some of those places like in between the buildings, these outdoor mall areas that has like these big corridors where all the really, really knockoff stuff are. And I think I saw some Birkenstock sandals called, what were they called? Broken Stock. I thought I saw some Broken Stock, not Birkenstock sandals. Ruban versus Ray-Ban, So, I'm not, it's just the way, it's part of the fun and the charm of the Philippines. So, you just got to go and roll with it. Well, I think, the question is what is cheap? Ozzy, to be honest, Ozzy says, I have a friend who came up with the idea to go to the Philippines and live there cheap because his brother lived there for 3 years. Well, why? Let me ask a couple of questions I would probe is why did he only live there for 3 years? Did he die or did he come back? I have a uneducated mathematical formula or whatever you want to call this, that 75% of the expats that go to the Philippines come back. I think only 25% who go there to live there out the rest of their lives. Only 25%. That's my guesstimate from talking and visiting with people all these years. And I mean all these years, since I was 18 years old. So I've been around the community since I was 18. So I've been married to Lorelei for 11 going on 12. But I've been around the community since I was 18 years of age. So I reckon 75% of people that go there to live don't live more that come back. So that would be my question. One, why did it come back? And two, what is cheap? What does cheap mean to you? There you go. Very common trend. They meet a chick, get married, have a baby, and it's financially better to be in America than schooling, which I'm going to say this. I actually think the education that the kids get in the Philippines is better than the education in America. I just do. Now, their college education is not worth a whole lot in other countries, but I think their quality of education, mathematics, English, language, the arts, the sciences, are probably better than what we do in America. So a lot of them will bring their wife over here now. Now, if you get married, you should bring your wife to America. You should get her to be an American citizen. You should get her to become a dual citizen. And then she can own land in the Philippines again. Your kid has dual citizenship, which is what you got to have. Two, if you're already on disability and or Social Security, you can get benefits for the child if you have one. I know somebody that's having kid after kid after kid in the Philippines because they're on disability. And for now, it's changed now. I think now it's only up to 2 kids. You can't collect on more than 2 kids is the max, if I remember right. But years ago, you could just keep having babies, and then you get them on disability or on your disability, and they got like $300-400 a month. And in the Philippines, that's a lot of money. Wow, he said he paid about $600 per month in rent. Well, to be honest, $600-700 from depending on what city he was in is a lot of money. When we were living in the Philippines, we paid $400 and we were getting ripped off. If you know the Philippines well, depending on what you want, you can definitely do better than that with a condo or something. But you also got to remember you're going to pay the skin tax. So you can do better than that, but 600's a little high. Even in the city where we're from, 600 is quite a bit. And we paid 400 and paid the utility, so maybe it came out to about 500. I don't know. But 400 was a little high for the quality of home that we had that leaked like a sieve and had mold in it and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So, but if you got a good look, if you're willing to go cheap, if you got $1,500 a month as a foreigner, and if you don't need a big fancy place, and you can truly do without a big fancy place, and you can do without your own car, you can live very comfortably on $1,500 a month. You can, but it's what I tell everybody, but it's a different lifestyle. It's not a bad lifestyle. It's a different lifestyle. $1,500 is hard to live on in America, but the lifestyle in America is way, way different than in the Philippines. Now, if you went and lived in southern Mississippi, $1,500 a month goes a long ways in parts of Mississippi. If you live where you live or where we live, $1,500 won't even pay your damn rent. So, you know what I mean? But it's all a trade-off. No matter what you do, it's a trade-off. Yes, you can live cheaper in the Philippines, but understand the Philippines is every week, every month getting more and more expensive to live there. Food has gone up, gas has gone up, just like everything. It's just the way it is. Houses, we looked at houses, and we have properties in the Philippines, right? I was shocked how in Cebu City, they wanted me to give them $250,000 for places even where I live now, wouldn't pay $100,000 for. So their houses were extremely expensive compared to the United States. I could take that $250,000, live in Mississippi and have a really nice house. Or I could buy a cracker box in the Philippines in Cebu City. Now, if I go out in the province, then I could buy, and I can't buy it. My wife would have to buy it because she's a Philippine citizen, not me, because I can't own property. So I have survivor rights, but I can't buy it. You can't buy it. So, but you can buy a condo and you can rent a condo. But we looked at buying condos there. The condos were hell, you're talking about 300. We saw a lot of condos that ran about 400 square feet, the size of a 2-car garage. The condo we lived in after Typhoon Odette, after the house we lived in got hit, and we finally got to go stay in a condo while our house was getting fixed, was about 380 square feet, if I remember right. That was the condo we lived in. So think about living in your garage, and you can do it if you're a single guy and you don't have itchy feet, but kind of how it all works. But you definitely got to go. You got to go. But what I want you to do when you go is I want you to take the rose-colored glasses off when you visit the Philippines. I really do. A lot of guys go over there and they're, monthly millionaires. They got plenty of cash to have a good time. They're going everywhere. They're seeing everything. But as you and I both know, when we move to a new location in the United States, like we're trying to move to Foley, Alabama. We really like Foley, Alabama. Prices are cheap. Cost of living is great. Weather's good. Food. Let me say my wife, and whatever. I really like Foley, Alabama. But I also am smart enough to know that for the first couple of years, I'm going to be everywhere, all over that part of the country, learning and seeing new things. But after a while, I'm going to get used to it, and I'm going to know everything that's there. So it's just kind of the same way. But you definitely need to go there. And that's what I mean about after you're somewhere for a while, the rose-colored glasses, when you're living there, come off. When you're only going to be there for a month, and I recommend that you go for a month, and you're staying at nice hotels or beach resorts, and you're hooking up with honeys, and you're going to dinner, and there's a lot of great things to do for the month. Look, I love the Philippines. I would be happy to go back every year for about 6 weeks and then come home. Because I would like to go there and have a good time for 6 weeks and come home. That would be my ideal situation. But we have our dog and we can't do that, right? But that's maybe 2 months. And every once in a while, maybe we go for 3 months. And while we're there, we'd flop over to Australia and hang out. Or go to Japan and hang out for a couple of weeks and come back. You know what I mean? So just understand that part of it. If it's the women that bring you there, well, that's fine, but you got to remember why you're there and why they're there. And if you're looking for women in the Philippines, all you got to do is just walk around and say hi. I'm telling you, you'll have plenty. If you're a single expat in the Philippines, you don't got to go through much effort other than just showing up, going to the mall and hanging out and saying hello. Hi, what's your name? That's it. Either that girl's married and she knows her sister, her cousin, her auntie, her anything, who to introduce you. Or you just go to the next place, to the potato place and say hi. Or the grocery store or that restaurant or anywhere you want to go, just say hi. And I'm telling you, somebody's going to shake out. Now, some of them are going to be ugly, but some of them, most of them won't be. It's not that hard. You don't got to put a lot of effort into it, is what I tell guys. If you already got a girl lined up, which I recommend, if you got a girl lined up already, that's great. But if you're just going, it's easy. It's easy peasy. Right, Pat? Pat agrees. Just had to bring in the jug of water that got sick. Yeah, you can't drink the water in the Philippines. You can bathe in it, I guess. We never had enough water pressure. That drove me crazy. Somebody who comes from America, not having water pressure irritated the shit out of me. Because I didn't have enough water pressure to clean the patio or the furniture or the windows or to anything else. I would sit there and have to let it drain, drip, 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 drip. Take me 20 minutes to get a 5-gallon bucket full of water. Like, oh my God. But you guys get my point, right? Women are easy in the Philippines if that's what you're looking for. They just are. But here's something I tell guys. Sometimes you got to look at this, and I know this is really shitty of me. All right? Or you can look at this as a business deal. I think it's getting heavier every time I know, man. It's because we're getting older. I think that would irk me. Yeah. And then, of course, you get the brownouts, and you got to suffer in the heat and the mosquitoes. Like I said, it really irritated me the fact that I had a bunch of money in the bank in America, and here I am having to bring bottled water in to flush a freaking toilet. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm being, maybe I'm too uppity, but it really irritated me that I had to bring bottled water in to flush a toilet when, I don't know. But, so just keep that in mind. Oh, the business deal. Let me tell you about the business deal. And I know this sounds a little crude. Or you can look at this as a business deal. And I tell people this all the time. Look, you go to the Philippines, hang out, you meet the chick that you really like, you come back to America, you do the K-1 visa process, you bring her back here, you put her ass to work. So therefore, now you have a 2-income household in America. And you move to a cheaper place that you guys can live and enjoy. And now, not only do you have the best of the Philippines in America, you have the best of America because you're in America. But she's working, earning a living, adding to your household. You know, I didn't do that intentionally with Lorelai, but she works. She's been working for the 10 years she's been here. Okay, you know, now she blows all of her money, but she works at least. I'll say we are spoiled. Spoiled. And I admit it. I'm absolutely spoiled. And it is, and if you are the type of person, at least I know this, that if now I'm really good about being in the Philippines and being more laid back. I don't get stressed when things don't get done for 2 or 3 weeks because we're living on Filipino time. So I'm not that type of person. I know that when I'm in a foreign country, I can't do shit. So I turn this switch off. They go, okay, I have no control over whether they're going to turn the internet on for the next 3 months. We paid for it. We're just waiting for them to do it. Now, it could be 2 months or 2 days. We don't know. And I can't do it. I can't make it go any faster. If I get mad at people, it's just going to make it worse. So I know that. But in America, we're spoiled because I can pick up the phone and say, I'm sorry, but your guy was scheduled to be here between 3 and 5. Where is he at? We don't know. I said, well, don't you think you better figure it out? It's 5:05. You know, that's what I'm saying. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night. It's time for us to wind this down. I'm really wore out from the week of stuff. Scott says, just be prepared for someone to walk in front of you. Oh, yeah. Like you're not even there. Got to get my left foot done before I can go to you got to be able to walk in the Philippines. See you next live. All right, everybody, we appreciate you. Remember, Lorelai's doing the big Halloween live Saturday. Please come and at least chime in and leave a comment about who has the best costume. And if you got to lie and say it's my wife, I appreciate that. Been homeless before, but I had a vehicle to live in and a truck stops at. Yeah, there you go. There ain't no truck stops. You got water hoses. You know, you can get a water hose in the Philippines. And you definitely don't want to be homeless in the Philippines. Scott, we appreciate you, buddy. Ozzy, we appreciate all of y'all. Ronald, everybody's been in. Dennis, everybody hanging out in the background. We appreciate everybody. We even appreciate MJ, even though he got frustrated tonight. So everybody take care, and we'll see you guys. Surgery got to get done on the left pinky toe. Oh, yeah, I know. Just cut it off. You don't need that pinky toe. Just cut it off. All right, my friends, if nothing else, we will see you Saturday. Take care.